Tonight's guest, Daniel Hamilton, strange cryptids reported across America.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start.
We're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with MonsterQuest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, everybody.
Untoldians.
Yes, our Untoldians. What a beautiful evening tonight. So hope everybody's enjoying the weather. I hope everybody's not listening to our podcast and just out enjoying the weather.
Sitting out in the sun. Yeah, it is nice outside.
Just kidding. It is nice, though. It was like
about dang time.
69 today and sunny. Yeah. Like there wasn't even a contrail in the sky.
Yeah,
it was just
day.
Blue, robin blue skies all day. I never even saw a jet or an airplane.
I wasn't outside a whole lot. I had the windows all open, getting fresh air in the house. It was great.
Don't people fly on Sunday?
Guess not.
It's like, what's going on? Anyhow, what do we got? Other than this, definitely is for absolutely sure my favorite month. I don't know about you, but May is just
yeah. We really thought about it. No, I like fall.
Well, yeah, I know, but everything goes from brown to greens and purples and blues, and all the trees are flowered. And
yeah, it's a great time of year.
It really is, because it's pretty dismal about November, and then it gets even worse in the spring when the snow thaws out. Everything's
a long winter, man.
Dirty looking, and but anyhow, now it's beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got going on tonight? We have Daniel Hamilton joining us, and we're going to talk about cryptids all over America.
Yep.
And
Dan's a good guy. I like talking to him.
Yeah, and the people that encounter them. So me and Daniel had lunch on, God, I can't remember what day it was. Saturday. We had lunch on Saturday. And, of course, we picked the worst restaurant you could ever pick, right by the international soccer thing going on.
Oh, no.
And there's like 100,000 people in town right next to the restaurant that we picked. I'm not exaggerating, 2.5 hours before we got our food.
Oh, geez.
That was like, what? But we went
picked the wrong store.
We went on the patio we weren't supposed to be at. And we went on the patio and just, enjoyed the sun and conversation. Kind of it was quiet. Nobody was out there, so it was cool. So anyhow, that's what I did on Saturday. Waited for a burger. Oh, okay. So we're gonna go down some strange stuff, and we talked a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight. So it'll definitely be
looking
a
forward to
little
it.
chilling. Definitely. So what do we got? We've got weird news.
Mm-hmm. Weird fact.
Weird fact. Is that worth even announcing the weird fact of the week?
This is a weird fact of the week.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got clips tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Clip picks, and we've got some other stuff. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned. Grab a chilled beverage like Jeff has, and I do. I'm out of root beer.
Ice cold water.
Dang it, I'm out of root beer, Jeff. I've got to drink this. Sunkissed
root beer, man. How do you survive?
Zero sugar. Tastes good, I guess. And I have my water too. But you're gonna so grab a cold beverage, get a comfy chair, get something to keep you safe, right?
Yeah.
Dim the lights, and we'll get underway.
All right, time for some news.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
And what could be weirder than scientists growing a mini, I repeat, mini beating heart in a lab dish?
That's a terrible idea.
What could be weirder than that? So apparently researchers have successfully grown a tiny functional human heart-like structure, whatever that means, that actually beats using stem cells. Unlike earlier organoids. Now, have you ever heard of the word organoid?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last week. I think we use that term here.
Not organoids. You probably called them organ pies or something.
Organ pies? No.
Yeah, this one shows coordinated contractions and early chamber formations. Basically, a primitive heart in a dish.
Nope.
The goal isn't to create a full organ yet, but to study heart disease and test drugs in real human tissue without risk. It says we're now at a point where scientists can grow parts of the human body that function on their own, which kind of feels like something straight out of science fiction.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea, but
Yeah.
who knows? What do I know?
I did get invited once, not going to say by who, to go into a lab and look at all of this organs growing. And I went, nah, I don't want to.
No, that's just not good.
One it was like an hour drive, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to pass on that. I might have nightmares about little beating hearts. Anyhow, and then next, which is totally unassociated with the little beating hearts in a dish, is humpback whales create a new type of bubble net. Have you ever seen this done, Jeff?
Bubble nets? I saw it. I've seen a clip of that. It's pretty crazy.
It's like you blowing a cigar smoke ring.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, right?
Mm-hmm. They're hurting the krill that they eat. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Marine biologists just documented humpback whales using previously unseen hunting strategies. I know they've known about bubble rings, but this is modifying their famous bubble net feeding technique. Some whales were observed coordinating in new patterns, almost like they were teaching and evolving tactics socially.
Crazy.
Now, this suggests whales' intelligence is even more advanced than we thought. I think they're smarter than we are.
Yeah. They got big brains.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Their brains got to weigh like, what, 200-300 pounds?
They're massive, yeah. It's a smart
Think about
animal.
what a brain that big could do. Okay. So it's not just instinct, but shared learning and cultural behavior. In other words, whales might have their own version of passing down knowledge, kind of like the hunting playbook.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So cool.
I think so. I'm going to try that in the swimming pool this summer.
A bubble net.
Yeah, trap
some shrimp in your pool.
Yeah.
And then eat them. Sure.
Yeah, and eat them right out of the pool.
Camera.
Yeah.
I'll video it. We'll put it on TikTok.
Okay. God, I remember those days where I had to go swimming all the time. I like swimming, but it's the thought of doing it.
Yeah.
And then you get it, and you're usually cold for a little while, and then you do it. But gosh, my kids are all grown, but man, they like to swim.
I did too. I was a varsity swimmer. A lot of fun.
All right, next. Nothing to do with bubble nets. Geologists are using advanced imaging techniques. They have discovered a previously unknown layer of magma deep beneath an active volcanic region. This hidden reservoir wasn't detected before and could change how scientists predict eruptions, which is good. We're still waiting for the yellow stone thing to kind of go gadoosh. Every time I get an invite to Montana, I go, maybe next time.
I love Montana. Beautiful place.
I do too. But like, God, I need to be there during an eruption.
Mm-hmm.
The discovery shows how volcanoes are far more complex than we once thought, more like multi-level systems with backup fuel tanks. It's a reminder that even the ground under our feet still hold major secrets. And I'm going to tell you, Jeff, if you could look directly below where you're sitting right now, and you would freak you out if you saw the caves and weird tunnels that are right below your feet. If you could your floor,
amazing.
see the ground, you would see tunnels. And you might see creepy things crawling through them.
I need to vacuum.
There could be things living in there. Creatures.
Probably is.
There could be, gosh, who knows what could be in there? There could be northern pike swimming below your living room floor.
They could be. You never know.
Yeah. All right. The next story has nothing to do with magma. Nothing. Birds can see Earth's magnetic field. Now, we all kind of knew this, that they were directed, when they migrated.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently now they have figured out they can actually see it. They can see the magnetic fields. Scientists just confirmed new details about how migratory birds navigate. They can actually visually perceive Earth's magnetic field using special protein in their eyes. Can you do that? Can you do that?
I've been working on it. I've been practicing on weekends, but I'm not quite there yet.
Instead of just sensing direction like a compass, birds may literally see patterns or shading linked to magnetic fields, guiding them across thousands of miles. So it's basically a built-in GPS, but one that works through vision, not instinct alone. Now remember, folks, we don't know if any of this crap's true. Do we? No, we don't. Do your own.
Well, we know birds migrate.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying everything in this whole show, we don't know if it's true.
We could be full of crap.
It's literally for entertainment purposes.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. This stuff isn't verified. I'm just a meat puppet reading this stuff.
It's conjecture, theories, hypothesis.
Yeah. It's based on who knows. All right, next. The next story has nothing to do with birds.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Researchers working in Arctic permafrost have successfully revived ancient viruses that were frozen for tens of thousands of years. These so-called zombie viruses, and I know we've talked about these before, were still infectious, at least to a single-celled organism after being thawed. Yeah, they still would infect things. Ugh. And it says the concern isn't that these exact viruses will infect humans, but the climate change melts permafrost. Unknown ancient microbes could emerge naturally, and it's like opening a biological time capsule, and nobody knows what's inside. And I'm sure that process has been going on for eons and eons and eons and eons.
The Earth is always warming and cooling.
It's always doing that. Come on.
Where we sit right now is once
I'm
covered by
I'm
a
glad
mile
it
of
warmed
ice.
because right where you're sitting and right where I'm sitting used to be a glacier.
Yeah, mile thick ice, right where we are.
Right where we are
across
right
Minnesota.
now. Which is
Literally
how they
mile-thick
formed
ice.
all those creepy tunnels below your house.
Mm-hmm.
Those big giant tunnels waiting to cave in
Mm-hmm.
and sink. Could you imagine? Have you seen the sinkhole videos where
Yeah, that's
people's
crazy.
floors have opened up? Oh, that one guy sucked his bed in one night.
There was one in the Corvette Museum in Kentucky.
Oh
Remember that
yeah,
one?
all those Corvettes just.
Yep.
Oh, that was so
Sucking.
weird.
Yeah.
The ground
Bizarre.
opened up and sucked a ton of Corvettes into a
Right
giant
underneath the
hole.
museum.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did they ever retrieve those?
Some of them, I think a lot of them are just got destroyed and lost. No way. There's no way to get them out. Some historical stuff was lost. Pretty sad.
Yeah. And then what do we got next? And the next story doesn't have anything to do with zombie viruses.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Or bubbles.
Or bubbles. Or birds.
Or fake hearts.
Or birds. Or fake hearts. It has to do with astronomers that are now seeing evidence of possibly the very first stars ever formed in the universe. Hidden inside distant gas clouds, these stars could have existed just after the Big Bang, meaning they were basically looking back to the birth of light itself. It's like finding the universe's first spark plug.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Everything's amazing to you.
It is. I love this stuff. I like
glad.
science.
I'm glad. I hope our audience loves it too.
I think this stuff is interesting as heck. I just love general science. I always have.
Yeah, it's fun. But once again, we don't know if any of this crap is true.
We're just sharing things we read.
Yes. Well, yeah, we're not only sharing, but we're trying to paraphrase them, shorten them, so we don't bore you with a 10,000 page
Weirdly
article.
and fastly.
Yeah, weirdly and fast. That's why we call it weird and fast.
Yeah.
All right. The next has nothing to do with stars at all.
Or bubbles.
Or bubbles, or birds, or hearts, little creepy
Viruses.
hearts.
Ancient virus. No, nothing.
It has to do with animals that may hold the secret to living hundreds of years. Just what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists studying ultra long-lived animals like Greenland sharks and whales are uncovering genetic tricks that resist aging and disease. Some species repair DNA better to avoid cancer, maintain cellular health for centuries. The takeaway: aging might not be inevitable. It might be that it can be biologically adjusted. And they are doing some amazing. I just read an article that I'm going to read to you guys next about stem cell therapy on deafness to reverse
This next one's pretty
deafness.
cool.
Yeah, I think so. And it has nothing to do with stars, DNA, birds, whale nets, or little creepy hearts.
Do you know much about Greenland sharks? They're
I know a
amazing.
lot about Greenland sharks.
I mean, that's.
Because you want to know why I know a lot about Greenland sharks?
I do want to know why.
Because it was my crew that filmed the first Greenland shark in a freshwater river.
Oh, I did not know.
Way
that.
in the central part, like right in the middle of the United States north.
Wow, I did not know that. That's
A
amazing.
Greenland shark. Inland.
Yeah.
Right by a guy's walleye dock.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. Most of them are blind. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, because they get cataracts and growths
They
on
have
their
parasites
eyes.
in their eyes.
Parasites,
They're over 400
ugh.
years old. They're incredible. They
Yeah.
just kind of slowly tool around and
Yeah.
live a long time. It's amazing.
Yeah, these things have been swimming there since like America was discovered. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and they don't really know. They think there could be Greenland sharks that are over 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
Some scientists suspect.
Incredible.
Okay. Anyhow, this
Moving
next
on.
article is about deafness reversed in 90% of patients. That's pretty cool.
I would love that.
If true.
Yeah.
In a breakthrough clinical trial, a gene therapy restored hearing in about 90% of patients with inherited deafness. Instead of hearing aids or implants, doctors delivered a corrected gene directly into the ear. The result? Patients who never heard sound suddenly could.
Yeah, that's
Now,
incredible.
that's not an improvement. That's a full sensory restoration.
Yeah, my dad and I both have hearing loss. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's just this kind of stuff with the genes. I love it because it's not drugs. It's using your own body's healing power to correct things. It's pretty cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So time for a weird fact?
Yeah, that weird fact you're all excited about.
I like playing this bumper. What can I say?
Oh, yeah, you do like that. All right, let's do it.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
All right. Weird fact.
Somebody said that MonsterQuest episode rocked. That was great work. Yeah. People always go, you never find anything. Well, we did.
Yeah, you did. You found lots of cool stuff.
Anyhow, giant squid, Greenland sharks. Could you imagine, though, by a guy's walleye fishing dock?
That is incredible.
Fresh water, just fishing walleyes.
Sharks in fresh water alone is pretty rare, but a Greenland shark is.
Yeah. But think
bizarre.
about this thing was huge.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was like 17 feet long or some damn thing. I can't remember.
Yeah, they're amazing.
But it was kind of a historical first. Okay. Apparently, the weird fact is that there are more lakes hidden under Antarctica than in all of North America. Now, that is actually pretty amazing because we have some pretty big lakes. I mean, if you empty Lake Superior, you'd have enough 3 inches of water over all of North America.
Yeah, it's a lot of water.
Which is insane. All right. Beneath miles of solid Antarctic ice, scientists have discovered over 400 liquid lakes, not frozen, liquid lakes completely sealed off from the surface for millions and millions of years. They are not frozen. They are actually liquid water lakes kept from freezing by pressure and geothermal heat from the earth below. What's truly wild is that this stuff's under Jeff's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right then.
What's truly wild is that these lakes may contain entire ecosystems that we have known nothing about.
It's amazing.
That have evolved in total isolation, meaning life forms could exist down there that have never seen sunlight ever, possibly unlike anything on Earth's surface. It's basically a hidden alien world right here on our planet and on Jeff's right below his house, his studio. You keep looking down.
I keep looking for it. I keep looking.
Could happen.
Could happen.
Oh my God, I just saw a movie on Netflix called La Brea. It's about the La Brea tar pits caving in. It's a big sinkhole and it kind of swallows part of LA in there. And people fall. You got to leave your brain on the coat hook, right?
Yeah.
And people fall through the hole and then land safely on grass. And then there's saber-toothed tigers and giant, giant condors and things that eat them. And I had to shut it off after a while.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit.
Yeah, when the saber-tooth attacks them, a dire wolf attacked a kid. So if you want to, it's good special effects, I guess. I think.
Time for some clips.
Did I even? Yeah, I did finish the lake thing. But the 400 secret lakes, what's cool is they can study either evolution or lack of evolution because these things all would evolve separately because they're not connected.
Right.
So you would learn a lot. There's no interconnection. But maybe there is. Maybe, you know what I mean? I was thinking this rock's going to have little tunnels through it to one.
Well, they were connected at one point. I mean, Antarctica was way further north a long time ago. I mean, it wasn't always under ice.
Way up to Anoka?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Was it? Oh, really?
It's right down.
That's good.
Here.
I'm glad it was. Let's see here. Anyhow, so let's do our clip picks.
Yeah.
And I see we got old Dano in the back room in the green room. Are you eating popcorn, Daniel?
I don't think you can hear it.
He's like, no, he's not. No.
All right.
And then what do we got? Clips. Let's do it. Clip one.
Play some clips. All right, clip one.
All right, now. Nice freeze frame. Okay. Before we get into this clip, once again, unverified crap. I have no idea if this is true. It could be. I was really interested, and I hope it's true. So let's play it.
We now know the legendary Kraken was real. It was not a myth. It is not fantasy. Scientists announced this week they have found the fossils of a giant octopus that would have been big enough to eat modern-day whales easily. It is possibly the biggest creature to ever exist in the ocean, okay? They are doing more research on right now to try to determine exactly how big this creature was, but absolutely monstrously huge. They found it off the coast of Japan, and my question is, how did our ancestors know about this, okay? Why did we think for so long this was just some kind of fantastical tale? Maybe they were seeing a giant squid. 1,000 to 2,000 years ago, people were commonly reporting that. Right now, they're saying that this fossil is like 60 million years old or whatever, and maybe that one is. But how do we know it's not still down there? Because our ancestors might have only been seeing them commonly because they were using wooden ships that don't use motors or engines, okay? If you did not know it, octopus are extremely sensitive to loud mechanical noises. In fact, they're so sensitive to it that octopus have been found with having abrasions on the inside of what their eardrums would be because the noise is so loud to them, it drives them away. So if there was something as big as a kraken, it would be even more sensitive to these noises that could drive it deep into the ocean. You guys have heard me do the podcast about the Blue 52 noise that we can hear in the ocean that they think is a whale, but no one has ever photographed it or filmed it because it's so deep down in there. What if it's this thing? What if it makes noises?
Okay. That's enough of that crap.
Enough.
I love Octopus with No Friends. This is about octopus. Sorry. She goes, I live for unverified crap. And you have come to the right
Welcome.
place. Because this whole show is unverified crap.
It's all unverified. It's
Is that our
inexplicable.
new, I think we got to get T-shirts made.
Unverified crap.
Untold Radio AM on total load of unverified crap.
Tune in for unverified crap. I like
Let's
that.
do it. Oh my God, I'm going to get to work on it right after the show. You will by next week. You'll be able to buy "I Live for Unverified Crap" T-shirt.
I'm making a note so I can remind you. after the show.
Remind me.
Unverified.
We got to send one
crap.
to her. We got to send one to her or him, whoever Octopus with No Friends is. You have a friend in us.
All right, I'm making a note. Unverified. The
Yeah,
home.
we need to change
Welcome
the
to
whole
Untold Radio,
We
the
need
home
to
of
change the
unverified
whole.
crap.
Yeah, we need to change the whole name of that whole network.
New bumper.
Pure spec. Yeah,
All
first line for that shirt is unverified. I live for unverified crap. Untold Radio AM. Yeah, she says fantastic. Yes, we are going to let you. We're going to keep our promise.
Yeah.
It's not a contest.
Not a contest.
It was
No
your
competing.
idea. Don't sue us.
No prizes.
No,
Not a
don't
prize.
sue us. Oh my God. Okay.
Clip 2.
Clip 2. There's probably some more unverified stuff.
I can't verify
Here we
this
go.
crap at all.
No, I can't. Clip 2, the sound is good. This is a synthetic species that was created in a lab. All species created in a lab. So this is the best unverified crap you're ever going to hear. Go ahead.
So this is what all the fuss is about.
This is the first synthetic species.
And how long did it take you to make this?
Well, if you count the total time from the conception, about 15 years.
And how many millions?
About $40 million over that entire time
Okay,
period.
that's enough of that unverified crap. It's interesting, though, if it's real.
Yeah.
I
I
would
can't
imagine.
verify
It
that.
probably is. But we don't know. It's unverified. All right. Clip 3. The sound is not good.
Not good.
Somebody sent me this. I don't know. Was it you, Jeff, or Adam? Maybe it
Not
was
me.
Adam. Somebody did. I can't remember. Somebody I knew. Anyhow, cougars, apparently, they said are officially back now in Minnesota because they verified these kittens that were
We've known
born
that for a
in
while.
Minnesota. So now we have, obviously, you had to have a man cougar, and now you got a woman cougar, and they made little baby cougars.
But we
That
can't verify
means-
that.
No, we can't. They could just be pets that are wayward, whatever. I've seen 2 cougars in Minnesota is all I know.
Lots of reports, yeah.
Yeah, there are lots of reports. So it's verified by me and Jeff, but that's it. But our opinions are worthless.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Though. Don't want to run into any mama cougars with their little kitties while you're walking your dog. Clip 4. Sound is good on this unverified crap. This is AI, obviously. But what's interesting, this is supposedly the biggest, represents the biggest mammal ever to roam the earth. It was as tall as a 3-story building. Look at it. Back it up a little bit and show the elephant there next to it. This is called a Paraceratherium. You want to take a stab at that?
Paraceratherium?
Yeah, really good job, Jeff. Thanks for making me look bad.
Paraceratherium.
Yeah, thanks for making me look bad. That was a massive hornless rhino the size of a 2-story house. See, I said 3-story. 2-story.
Massive.
It weighed as much as 5 African elephants and spent its day stripping entire trees bare just to keep going. So there you go. Say that word again.
Paraceratherium.
Say it again.
Paraceratherium.
Say it again. Say it
more
really
time.
fast now.
Paraceratherium.
And I'll say Shopper City 10 times fast.
No.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that old one?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Then you got to hold your tongue and say it. Shopper City. You remember that? Okay. Don't try it, people. It's dangerous. Don't do it in front of your kids. Clip 5, no sound. And Jeff, you can read. I want you to read all of these since you made me look bad on the Paraceratherium name. So now you got to read all of these.
A murder of crows. These are names for groups of animals. A murder of crows. A parliament of owls. Oh, I like that one. A pod of dolphins. A crash of rhinos. A tower of giraffes. A coalition of cheetahs. That's a good one too. A skulk of foxes. A leader of puppies. A waddle of penguins. I can't read the bottom ones there. What the bottom ones say?
Come on, Jeff, you can do it.
The time. There we go. A mob of kangaroos, a basque of crocodiles, and a smack of jellyfish.
Now, who'd have thought? Did you know any of those?
I knew probably half of them.
Half. Smack of jellyfish?
Didn't know that one.
Are you serious?
A smack. I like a parliament of owls. I kind of like that one the best.
I mean, obviously, we knew the litter. We knew the skulk of foxes. I did not know.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought they would have been a litter too. A coalition of cheetahs. A tower of giraffes. That didn't make any sense.
Those are good words. What?
David Birch says a den of lawyers.
A cackle of old women.
As Favre would say, a leader. No.
All right, I think we got...
I don't know. I can't even read it.
One more clip.
All right, what's this, Jeff? Come up with a name. Caillou has challenged you. Look at the screen. What did he say?
A stink of Bigfoot.
What's a collective of Bigfoot? A stink.
A stink. S-T-I-N.
A stink of Bigfoot.
Stink.
Good.
A stink of Bigfoot.
That deserves a clap.
Or a funk of Bigfoot.
A funk of Bigfoot? A step of Bigfoots. Come on, people. In chat, come on, get in on this.
Let's stink of Bigfoot. That's my
Come on, people, get in on this. What do you call what are we going to call a group, a collective of Bigfoots? We need to have your answers. No, David Birch. That's not appropriate. Come on, a clan. We've got, let's see here. We have a tangle of hairy people. That's pretty damn. Come on, people, get creative. We might send you one of those unverified crap T-shirts if you come up with the best name for a collection of Bigfoots together. A lump of Bigfoots. An unverified of Bigfoots. Yeah, that's actually that's pretty creative.
An unverified crap of
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
An unverified of Bigfoot. Yeah, because they're not verified yet. A clan. Killing. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Just big feet. That's not bad. A band of boogers.
That's a pretty.
Oh my
good
God, that wins. A band of boogers. Jeff, don't you agree?
I like that one.
A band of
Bigfoot.
boogers.
Yeah.
That's close. Caillou, you were second.
Oh, I like a howl of Bigfoot too. That's pretty good. Oh, Carl had a good one. An incognito of Bigfoot.
Yeah, Jeff owes you a unverified crap T-shirt. Oh my God, this show is going down the toilet.
Not a contest of Bigfoot.
No. Okay, we still have one more. Do we
One
have
more clip.
Yeah, one more clip.
All right.
Clip 6. This the sound is good. Now just go ahead and play it.
In 1977, Chief A.J. Huffer was hired to look for giant birds called thunderbirds in Illinois. In July, he spotted large birds and recorded this video. He was originally hired by CBS News to obtain footage of the legendary creatures. This footage became so popular that it was eventually featured on an episode of MonsterQuest. For centuries, indigenous traditions across North America have told stories of massive birds associated with storms, thunder, and the sky itself. But by the 1970s, some people began to believe that thunderbirds might actually be out there and not just a myth.
There you go.
That was a
Now,
good episode.
a friend of
MonsterQuest.
mine, Dr. Rettig, over at the Raptor Center, even thought he knows birds better than anybody. I mean, he does surgery on them. He's with them all day, every day. And he could not identify that bird.
Mm-hmm.
Could not.
Yeah, that was a good
identify.
episode. I remember that one well.
Yeah. Well, I remember because one of the inside stories of that episode was we needed to have a kid, a young man, fly through the air, as he's getting lifted to reenact the Thunderbird. And I grabbed a broomstick and put it through his what do you call it? Tank top that he was wearing. And just one guy in one hand, one guy in the other hand, and we just lifted him. It worked perfect.
That's awesome.
And I said, kick your feet, and struggle.
TV magic.
Oh, that was a real expensive special effects, folks. It cost one broomstick. Anyhow, I shouldn't have given that secret away. Okay, what do we got? I think we're done. Let's do, is it fake as funk?
All right.
Is it BS fake as funk? Have we been punked? Is it BS fake as funk? Have we been punked?
That's my favorite bumper.
That is a good one. I like that one a lot.
I like that. It's my favorite. Okay, so the sound is good on this next clip. I don't know if there's much sound to hear, but it's apparently filmed over New York. So is it AI? Is it real? Is it whatever? I don't know. You decide. And please vote in the chat. I want to hear your opinions. Well, there's a helicopter. Stay on. There's the helicopter. There's the object, supposedly. Keyword, supposedly, Jeff.
Allegedly. Can't verify.
Allegedly, it could be real. I don't know. It's unverified crap.
Just more unverified crap.
It's more unverified crap. But I want to see your opinions on it because I really want to know where people are at. Oh, let's see here. What are people saying? Kenny has AI. And you could be right.
Probably.
I mean, that's obviously the thing most people are going to go to now on UFO footage. It's sad in a lot of ways. Oh, Bixie just joined us. She's in trouble. She gets 4 demerits for being late. She said she lost track of time. We'll forgive you. We forgive you.
An unverified flying crap object.
Yeah, it's all you missed is a bunch of unverified crap.
A bunch of unverified crap.
CIA studied these sounds supposedly, and go ahead and you can play the next one. I don't know what. Do you see it there?
Well, The second one or the third one?
Second.
Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. No sound on this one.
No. So what is this? This is the kind of stuff. I have seen stuff like this. That doesn't mean this footage is real. But
It's unverified.
Hang on, there you go. See, you start seeing like multiple objects all moving. And I remember a night back in literally in the 60s, probably like 1964. I was out in the yard with my cousins and we saw this going on up in the sky. It was one of those really dark nights, no moon. And we called, my mom and dad came out, my uncle, my aunt came out. We're all watching this. These things were just zigzagging all over. And that's before satellites, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know. All right, what's the next one? The next one is about sound. So I don't know if you, once again, put your opinions in the chat. I will review it. See, there's somebody thinks he's gone. We had a wedge with the 3 lights fly over one night. We were all sitting in the jacuzzi and it was silent.
Yeah, that's kind of a famous
I don't
one.
even remember what this clip is. Go ahead and play it. It's unverified, that's for sure.
I can't verify this clip even exists.
No, I can't even.
This one does have sound.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. This is supposed to reset something. Okay, let me read about this. This is supposed to reprogram your brain. Forget about what you think you know about meditation. It says apparently the agency investigated something called the Gateway Experience, and they used how do you pronounce it?
Binaural, I think.
Binaural beats and specific frequencies. You can play it again to
Like that.
to synchronize the brain's hemispheres. The goal to reach deep theta and delta states. The same level of consciousness linked to the ancient, the Om, that.
Right.
That's what
I
Jeff
think there's
says.
something behind all that.
That's
I
what
really
Jeff
do.
does when you get up in the morning. You just go, Om, Om,
I can't verify that.
until he looks in the mirror and then he goes, Okay, what we're talking about apparently is this again, it's all unverified, whatever.
Unverified.
But it says it came from declassified documents that read like science fiction. Psychoacoustics, it's called. So there you go. What do you think?
I think there's some truth to that frequency.
It could be.
stuff.
That does kind of give me the willies.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some truth
I'm
to that.
definitely reset, Jeff.
No, I'm not there yet. I can't verify it.
I'll play it about 20 times when you get home.
Later tonight.
All right, that's it. That's all we got.
That's it.
We're going to bring Daniel on.
Daniel, yeah.
Daniel, are you ready?
He is ready.
He's thumbs up.
Thumbs
He's
up.
ready. Well, let's see. What should we say? Daniel runs it's called The Cryptid Podcast. Now, how the hell he came up with that name?
Perfect name.
Who would ever thought that was available, Daniel?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have checked it. That should not have been available to you. It's like, okay, anyhow. But that's the name of his podcast. It's a good podcast. But let's go ahead and welcome Daniel Hamilton on.
All right. Welcome,
He
Daniel.
calls himself Dano, apparently.
No, you guys are like my bros, so you guys can call me. You guys can call me Daniel. Everybody can call me Daniel if you want to.
Well,
I
where
can't
did you
verify
get?
that.
Because you do a thing in the mornings called Coffee with Dano.
Yeah, like mornings with Dano. Yeah, I've had that nickname for like, I don't know, almost 30 years. So
yeah, and by the way, you have to verify. We did wait 2.5 hours for our food, didn't we?
Absolutely, we did.
And that was and you picked that restaurant, didn't you, Dan?
You gave me 2 choices: 1, Tavern Grill, or 2.
Don't give their
Grill.
names. Oh my God! Don't
they don't know where they're at, so I didn't give the
name
location.
them.
Hey, Jeff, is it just me or does Doug look a little taller today?
Yeah, I am taller. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So I
floated. I floated.
I'm just gonna tell everybody what I originally said, and this is true. I'm gonna swear by it.
Yeah.
I woke up 2-3 days ago, and I did my you just walk, right? You walk, you get coffee, you wake up, you get coffee, and you sit down. I swear to God, the chair felt lower, and then when I was walking, because it was double things, the chair felt lower, and I felt like I was seeing things from a little different perspective, like about 2 inches, nothing dramatic. And I thought, am I hallucinating? Then I went and sat in another chair, and that one seemed shorter. And I went, okay, what's going on here? Did I slip into a new dimension while I slept? And I told Daniel, of course, he's been teasing me ever since. So now you can all get in on it and tease me.
I'll tell you what you sent me to text. I was taking a drink, and I opened up with your text, and I saw you. I spit my drink out. I was laughing so hard. My wife looked at me. She's like, "What is your problem?" I go, "Doug." She's like, "Who?" I go, "Hajicek. He's a jokester right now."
Oh, it's bad. Anyhow.
Yeah, it was good. It was good catching up with you yesterday, man.
Yeah, Jeff, can you turn his mic up a little bit, or
sure?
Maybe aim yours better. You're supposed to know how to deal with your mic, there, Daniel.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
It's directional. They're condenser mics. You got to be aimed exactly at your damn lips.
But I will say this though. Yesterday at lunch, like it looked like he was taller than what the chair should have been because his knees were up.
Yeah, it's true.
He goes, look at my knees are way up here. And I'm like, oh yeah, they are.
Oh my God. Caillou goes, we can't verify this.
Oh, I was there, 100% verification.
Well, part of the chairs being lower is that you're getting older, right?
Yeah.
You do. The older you get, it's a little more when you get up out of chairs. And I talked to my old buddy who I literally remember distinctly going to his 50th birthday party going, God dang, I don't ever want to be that old. And I asked him yesterday how old he was, and he said he was 84. And I went, oh, what happened?
It's crazy how time flies.
Yeah. You probably know who I'm talking about, Daniel.
Is it the person you called while?
Yes.
Did he really say that?
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, the older I get, I agree. I look for a chair that I don't have to sit further down in, so it's easier to get up.
Yeah.
And the porcelain god, I try to find a higher porcelain god than these little ones that make you feel like you're squatting in a field. I can't do that. Oh my
God.
That'll blow your knees out, gentlemen. You go down to do your business. Next thing you know, you got 911. You're laying on the floor. Your knees are all blowed out, and you still haven't cleaned yourself. That's kind of messed up.
Did not predict the conversation would go this direction.
Well, I didn't either, but here we are.
Oh my God. Okay, but then you said, okay, I admitted what I said.
Oh, I'll own up to what I said.
And then we're talking about flights and whatever, and he goes, you tell him I can't do it.
Instead of saying I normally don't fly. And I said, yeah, when I went to the other one, I flown.
I don't normally flow.
Yeah, I don't normally flow.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, here we go.
I haven't let you live that one down either.
Nope.
So there you go. See, touche. You don't say anything about me saying I felt taller, and I won't say anything about you flowing.
But I'm going to. Hajicek, I'm going to, my brother.
Okay, let's talk crazy cryptid stuff. So you got interested in this because you had some kind of very strange experience when you were younger.
Yeah.
Do you want to, I don't want to waste too much time on you because we have so many other people we can talk about, but it affected your life. Can you condense that story a bit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what got me interested in the whole subject of cryptids was seeing the Patterson-Gimlin film.
Oh.
When I was about 10 or 11 years old. And I was super, super, fascinated with them because I lived in the Pacific Northwest. I lived up in Washington State. And I, if they got video of it, I say a clan, but I like Flat Rock's. What was it? Something of a boogers, whatever he said.
Yeah,
A band of boogers.
Band of boogers.
Yeah, band of boogers. That's awesome. But anyway, so I believe that they were definitely California, Northern California, quite possibly Oregon, but I didn't think that they were going to be able to cross the Columbia River. This was my thought process when I was like 11 years old, that they wouldn't be able to get across the Columbia River. So there's no way they would be in Washington State. 1984, that all changed when my dad and I and my little brother, we were coming home from Tacoma, and we saw one. We pulled off of the main drive. My brother was asleep in the back of the car. I was sitting in the front passenger seat, and as we came off the road, my dad, his headlights, they made some eye shine or something way up, and I was like, Dad, there's something up in the road. Turn your brights on. He's like, no. They'll see us coming. They'll hear us coming. They'll get out of the way. So the road kind of dipped off of the main road, and then it kind of leveled off, and then it'd have like a small rise. And it would come up, then it would go back down again. It did this a couple times before we hit our property, and we went down the little dip, and they came back up on the rise, and I still saw the eye. I go, Dad, it's still there. Turn your brights on. And he's like, no, it'll trust me. It'll be, it'll move. It'll hear us coming. It'll see us. It'll move. Go back down this little dip, come back up this rise. And my dad, he hit the brights, and he had installed some like aftermarket driving lights he had them angled out as far as he could so he could see both sides of the road, because in this area we had tons of wildlife, fox, coyotes, deer, wild dogs, things like that. And he hit those brights, turned on those driving lights, and it lit the entire area up in front of us. And there she was. She just started standing up. I didn't think she was going to stop standing up. She turned to look at us. Her whole body turned pretty much. She put her hand up like this to block the light. You could see the palms of her hand. Her skin was black. Her face was black. Dark charcoal color hair. Saw her chest region. There was hair there, but not a bunch of hair. There was more hair on her like arms and shoulders and head than there was in the chest and stomach area. She, if I had to give you a description, like size and height wise and body type wise, she resembled Patty, but not as robust. But she wasn't skinny. She was still thick, but she wasn't as thick as Patty, but she wasn't skinny. Probably 7.5 feet tall, probably between 500 and 650 pounds. At that second, I had two emotions going on. I was absolutely excited, but I was terrified. I went down into the floorboard of the car. I looked up at my dad, thinking my dad was going to speed off. But he didn't. He kept the same constant speed, never slowed up, never slowed down. And we turned into the driveway shortly after that. But before we did that, I figured we were still around the same spot, or we had passed the same spot that she was standing in. So when I looked up, I kind of peeked up and looked out the passenger window, and I could see her standing in the tree line. And that's when I noticed that I had enough of a light still that I could see that her eyes were black. Now, the eye shine that I saw was like a dark amberish, reddish color. To this day, I still don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a reflection from the lights. I don't know if they can self-illuminate their eyes. I don't know. I wish I had an answer. I wish someone had an answer. I don't know. We pulled into our driveway, and as my dad was slowing down, I jumped out of the car. I jumped out of a moving car, jumped up into up on the porch and into the house. How would I describe the face? Okay, so one, yes, I did see the breast. Yes, they did have a light, like thin hair on it. Her face, a nose similar to ours, but on a bigger scale. A full lower lip and a thinner upper lip. The eyebrow, the pronounced eyebrow, irid, bridge route, or whatever you want to call it. It didn't look like she had a conical head. I didn't see ears because hair was coming down, but her face from like her forehead, like right above her brow, all the way down to like right in this part of her chin was completely hairless. There was no hair at all. The brow ridge, that's it. So that's the best description I could give you of her face. Now as I jumped back up on jumped on the deck and then into the camper, I heard my dad's car door shut, and then my little brother, my dad was carrying my little brother up into the camper. We lived in a fifth wheel, and my brother and I slept on that little loft area. So my dad puts my brother up there, goes and takes his, my dad comes back downstairs, goes into the cupboards and the refrigerator, gets food, goes outside, puts it on like a little table that we had on our deck that he had built, goes around, gets a ladder, then brings it up. Now, my dad had attached a long pole on the back left corner of the deck because he's a bird watcher, and he was going to put a bird feeder on the top of this pole so he could definitely, take pictures and notes about the birds coming in. But he hadn't put the birdhouse of the bird feeder up there yet. There was just a basic wood platform that he had attached to it somehow. He put the ladder up, put all the food up there. He had taken a rag out from underneath the sink, and then he squeezed what I later found out was grease into the rag, and he greased the entire pole. Gets off the ladder, of course, puts the ladder up, and he comes in the house, and I asked him, I go, Dad, what did you just put on that pole? And he goes, grease. And I go, well, why did you do that? And he goes, oh, that's to keep the animals away from the food. And when he asked me that, when he told me that, I go, oh, so you mean like raccoons? And he's like, yeah, raccoons. And it made sense to me. Daniel, what was your dad's opinion of Bigfoot before the sighting? I'll answer that one after I tell you the story. So he goes outside, he starts to smoke a cigarette. I'm kind of eavesdropping what he's saying because I hear him talking. And he says something to the effect of like, we know you saw us. We saw you. Don't hurt us. These are my boys. That food is up there for you. Don't scare my boys. We don't mean any disrespect, that kind of things. He comes back in, and I asked him who he was talking to, and he said, well, I was praying. And I go, Dad, I didn't hear you say amen. And he kind of chuckled, and he says amen. And then he asked me, he goes, Bud, do you want to sleep with me? Sleep with me. And I'm like, yes, I do. Now, again, I'm terrified. I'm excited. I didn't think that these things were going to be in Washington State. Yes, that night I found out that they were. So my dad had one of those old alarm clocks that had like an amberish glow behind the numbers. And the numbers were like these white plastic like tiles, and they would flip every time it changed the time. So you hear the little flip, and then it kind of gave an ambient color, like an amberish color in the room. Go to bed, and it was around between 1 and 1:15, because I remember that specific time, 1 a.m. something. And I hear this loud, like, creak, like something stepping up onto the deck. Something very heavy stepping onto the deck. And I open my eyes, I look at my dad, and he's kind of putting his fingers to his lip, to tell me to be quiet. And I try to ask him, like, how many are there? And he just put the number 3 up. I don't know how he knew that specifically, but when he did that, I kind of had my back resting against the wall. And at that time, I heard and felt something run by really quick on that backside of the wall of the backside of the camper. And it sounded like it went to the very end of the camper and then turned and went around behind the camper. And then I hear something climbing up onto the deck again. And then I hear something else walking up onto the deck. Now, if you guys have heard the sound of wood when something extremely heavy is placed on top of it, you hear the groans, the pops, the cracks, the creaks, and that's what I was hearing. And then the next thing I heard, and again, this is a horrible rendition, but I heard something like, like some vocalizations, but much scarier than that. And I know I just started freaking out. I grabbed a hold of my dad. I buried my face in his shoulder. He's trying to hold on to me. He's reaching over here with his right hand. He's trying to pull me close. He's trying to keep, himself between me and the door. I know I fell asleep. I know I cried myself to sleep, because the next thing I remember, I was waking up with some sunlight coming in through one of the window on the door. Now, you couldn't see out the window. The window was like opaque, so it was like you could see light coming in and out, but you just couldn't see what was inside or what was outside. I get up, I open up the door, and I go and I jump and climb up on the railing of the deck. And I look up, and I don't see any food up on this platform. I jump off, and I yell to my dad, Dad, it's all gone. It's all gone. They took it. It's all gone. And he gets up, and he comes out, and he's starting to look, and he stands there, and he's looking. He doesn't see anything. And I'm over here now looking at the pole, and I see where something had grabbed this pole in multiple places, and then it had taken its finger and dragged it all the way down and then wiped all the grease off onto the railing. I showed my dad that. My dad says, don't tell your brother. So fast forward to summer. It was a Saturday when this happened. My dad was not in a good mood because he had to go into work on a Saturday to do inventory. He comes home the whole day. Me and my brother just goofing off. We're listening to music, playing video games, eating food that we shouldn't be eating in a place that we should not be eating it, drinking my dad's Pepsis. And he comes home, and I hear my dad do something that I've only maybe heard him do 3 times in my lifetime, and that's slam his car door. And my dad had a really nice Mustang, like a 71, like Boss 302 or something like that. It was it had louvers on the back window. It was a nice car. And he slammed the heck out of that car door. And I hear him, and he says my entire name. He gives my first, middle, and last name, and I know I'm in trouble for something. I'm trying to think what I had done. And he comes up on the deck, and he's like, do you want to tell me when the burn barrel is? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, seriously, where's the burn barrel? I go, how do I know? I didn't burn any trash today, Dad. Because back in those days, out in the area, in the rural area, we didn't have trash service. We burned all of our trash. And I go, Dad, I didn't burn any trash. And he goes, well, what happened to the burn barrel? I go, what? Now I'm starting to get agitated with my dad. He's accused me of something I didn't do. He's like, get out here right now. He grits his teeth and uses his finger and says, get out here. I go outside, go around. And the first thing I ask my dad is, I'm like, Dad, what happened to the burn barrel? Like, where's the burn barrel? He's like, that's what I'm trying to ask you. What did you do with it? I go, I have no clue what you're talking about. And he's like, listen. I go, Dad, you listen to me. I didn't do anything with that burn barrel. He's like, well, it just didn't work, didn't get up and walk away itself. I said, you know what? I bet you one of those Bigfoot took it. And he's like, shut up. He goes, what would they do with the burn barrel? And he goes, go find it. I go, where am I supposed to look? He's like, I don't know. So he goes one way looking for it. And I walk into this area that after we had first moved in there, I had seen something walk into the woods in this area one night.
Dan, was this a 55-gallon drum type burn barrel? So it was a full-size big one.
Yep. And my dad had put like two bags, like two 20-pound bags of sand at the bottom of it.
So is it rusted? Is it painted? What's it look like?
It was painted. It was painted blue.
Okay.
And he put all the sand in there so it wouldn't blow over. Right.
Yeah.
So I go into this area where I saw something walk into the woods, months earlier before we had our sighting. And about 30 feet inside the woods, I find the burn barrel. And it looks like something had grabbed the burn barrel and just threw it into the woods. Like just chucked it into the woods. And so I yelled at my dad. I'm like, Dad, I found it. And he's like, what? I go, what do you think what are we looking for? And now I know I'm past the point of no return. My mind is telling me to shut my mouth. And my pride is telling me, keep going, man. Keep going. Keep digging a hole for yourself. And my dad comes running over. I go, I found what you're looking for. He's like, Daniel, I'm not going to tell you again. And he goes, well, how did it get in here? And I said, Dad, I already told you. I bet you it's one of those Bigfoots. And he's like, shut up. Don't say nothing to your brother. I don't need your brother scared. He's going to want to go move back with your mom. Just, knock it off. So we moved the burn barrel back. And I go, Dad, I'm telling you, it's one of those dang Bigfoots. I bet you it was the one we saw. And he goes, don't tell your brother. And about that time, my little brother comes walking around to the front of the camper. And he's like, tell me what? And before my dad could say anything, I said, Bobby, a Bigfoot threw the burn barrel in the woods. My dad smacked me upside the head. And my brother just very plain as day goes, well, I don't think it was one of the little ones that I've seen. And we're both like, whoa, what are you talking? What do you mean little ones that you've seen? He's like, oh yeah, I see two small ones. I see them all the time. Like, what do you mean you see them all the time? He goes, well, not like every day, but when we play music or we cook out, I see them. They walk along this part of the woods, and then they go and they sit over in this little area. And I go, my dad's like, well, what do you mean? So he's like, come here, I'll show you. So we both follow him over. He walks right to this area. You could see where something has continuously sat there or laid there because everything is just matted down. Like it is flat as flat can be. And he goes, yeah, I've thrown a bunch of tennis balls and baseballs out here, but I never find them. They never give them back to me. They just keep them. And there's been times where my brother said, he would go out to the tree house that we built. Well, it was just inside the woods, maybe 50 yards inside the woods. And he said one time he was walking in, he saw one jump out of the tree house. And he said the way that it landed, it didn't like stick the landing and get up and take off running. It just came down and like it was kind of like on a zip line. And it just hit the ground at a dead run and just took off. He said, it was gone so quick. He goes, I hardly even saw which way it went. It was gone that quick. And there had been times where we were both in the treehouse and then you just get this really eerie feeling. And I remember looking out the window of our treehouse just in time to see something like this and then moved his head back. And then he'd look over on this side of the tree and move his head back when he realized I was focused in on where he was at. And I called that one the peeker. Later on, the following October, we actually had to leave that property. My dad was involved in a bad car accident. We moved back to Tacoma to live with my aunt so my dad could recuperate and heal. I mean, my dad was almost killed in the car accident. So he lost the property. He couldn't work. And so he sold the camper, lost the property. The new owners wanted the camper off. We were going out there to clean it up. Me, my dad, my aunt, and my dad. My brother. And all four of us were out there. Everybody else was cleaning out the camper. I had already taken everything I wanted when my aunt came and picked us up the day of the accident. And I noticed that it looked like something was trying to look in all of the windows, even the tall ones up where the loft was. And I firmly believe that what we had there was a family unit. I'm not saying
a band of boogers.
a band of boogers. I think there's a band of boogers on there. But I don't think they were like living on the 5 acres of land we were. I think they were just in that area. And I've Google mapped it, and it looks nothing like. A lot of the woods are gone. Almost as thick as the woods were, they're hardly there now. When we lived there was only 2 other houses, and you had to do some if you took the roads, it took you about 10 minutes to get to each house. But if you cut through the woods, you get there a little faster. But again, what type of trees? These were pines and then other native trees of Washington State. There was a creek and a pond out in the woods. Plenty of animals: deer, fox, coyote, porcupines. So there was plenty, and plus, there was people that raised rabbits. There was people out there that had small little gardens. So I'm sure there was, there's more than enough. And that was just on our 5 acres of land that had, that little like creek and that pond. And it was in Graham, Washington. So it was in Pierce County. So
did all of this stuff affect your career choice? No.
I'm going to be honest. No, it really didn't.
Okay.
What I did is, I tried to talk to people about it, and I would get laughed at. Oh, you're just seeing things. You're so little liar, and a lot of these people that I was talking to were family members. And so I just kind of kept it repressed, way down, and just didn't really talk about it. Every time that I'd see something come up, I would mention it and no one would really listen. And then, I joined the Air Force, served, did my 4 years, almost 5 years, got out, and the internet just started to come around, AOL, dial up, all that type of stuff. And I never really thought about looking for anything there. But then when Facebook came around, YouTube and stuff like that, now everybody's able to post things and stories. I found forums and things like that. I really started getting interested into it again. And then, realizing that, that wasn't the only time I'd ever seen one. And it definitely wasn't the only time I've had an encounter with one. So, yeah. And then it was just me wanting to kind of validate what I had seen, what I had heard, is why I started a podcast. And, I wanted everybody to kind of.
Is your podcast all verified?
The last I looked, it's verified. I think as much as I could verify it. But yeah, I just wanted to give people a platform that have to come out here and just tell people, hey, this is a safe place for you guys to come and hang out, tell your stories. We have a great group of moderators in my channel, my live chats. And yeah, it's just, I just want people to know, I've been there. I've felt that fear, but I've also felt that excitement.
Yeah.
And, it's just, I want you guys to know that it's okay. You're not crazy. You're not alone, that people have had encounters like this, some more scarier, and some not so. I've had only one aggressive encounter. I never saw it. I heard it. It let us know that it was there. My brother saw it, but everything else has been very, very passive. That I've absolutely knew 100% that it was a Bigfoot. Now, I had 2 prior ones. That one was passive. The other one it's actually very aggressive, but I thought they were bears because I never saw anything. But if you take all the puzzle pieces from that camping trip and put them together, what else could it be? So,
yeah, that's a lot of quite a few things in one spot. How old were you during all that again?
It would be my first sighting.
Well, just from that whole period when you were out there.
The first things I believe that I had encounters started like 1978, 79. So I was about 6 or 7.
Okay.
And then the last time I had any type of an encounter, I guess you would say, is I was 53.
Oh, okay.
Last one was in Michigan.
Very interesting. Okay, so what? Now you get a lot of obviously cryptid reports, I would imagine, on a pretty regular basis. Kind of what's the trend right now, and what's the hottest location for people seeing some kind of out of place animals?
There are 2 really huge things going on right now within the last, I want to say, probably last 60 to 75 days. First, you hear about what's going on in Northeast Ohio. There's a flap that hit that area. I think there was 9 sightings seen by 10 people. And then just north of it, up in Ontario, Canada, from April 4th to April 24th. So in about a 20-day period, there was, I think, 16 to 18 reported sightings of Bigfoot.
Wow.
And just recently, I want to say in the last maybe 5 days, there was one in Kansas.
I didn't hear about the Kansas. That's Kansas is not the first place you think of.
Nope.
When you think of Bigfoot sightings, but but if they're going to go north and south, you're going to have to go through Kansas.
Yep.
So it doesn't really shock me. And Jeremiah was covering that Ohio.
Yep. Absolutely.
Thing, and of course, once again, it's all unverified.
Yeah. Well, Jeremiah, he messaged me. He's like, "Man, you're not gonna believe what's going on, man. You're not gonna believe what's going on." He goes, "Stay tuned." I'm like, "Okay." So I got back to it. But do I think they migrate? Absolutely, I think they migrate. Excuse me. Yeah, I absolutely believe.
Well, they'd have to, Dan, because if you need to eat, you're going to have to move.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, unless you're just going to go after deer and nothing else.
But, also when the Ohio flap happened, it all kicked off like right after, I guess, a meteor strike hit Ohio. And, you have everybody jumping on board on that. I've heard a lot of people, the meteor, it caused them to do something different than they normally do. And I'm like, do you guys realize how many meteors hit the earth every single day and you don't even know about it? If that was the case, then this whole, if every cryptid in the world was going to be, was going to be affected by a meteor strike, then oh my gosh, we'd see them walking down Rodeo Drive and Wall Street and everything else.
True. So, I know this is kind of a loaded question. What is the most chilling cryptid encounter that you've ever heard or featured on your show?
Oh man, Doug, I've had so many. See, we just had Joe Barger on. He had a dogman encounter in the Manistee National Forest where he actually shot one and killed it.
Yeah.
He was a long hauler, drove, over the road for the week, and he had just picked up a load, and he was going through the Manistee National Forest, and he was getting some really weird readings on his air pressure. So he decided to pull over and got out of his truck and found that there was an air leak on one of his airlines for his air brakes. And he didn't really want to sit around and wait for service to come out there and fix it. He already had, he says he carries the essentials on his truck to make repairs like that, where they'll hold enough until he can get it into a shop and get it professionally repaired. So he fixes his truck, and then he gets back in, starts it up, and starts taking off, and he hears this noise, and he's not sure what it is, and he looks over out the passenger side window and looks at the mirror and sees this thing running alongside of his truck. And he's going up a gradual incline, so he can't just. And if anybody's ever been in a rig or have driven a rig, you just can't go from 0 to 60 like that. It's going to take some time to get that truck and go through those gears to get it up to the speed you need to. And he says by that time he goes and he looks and he sees this thing now staring at him through his passenger window. He sits about 9 to 10 feet up in his cab in this truck, and this thing was like looking in on him. And he said, I believe he said it was trying to open up his door, his passenger door, and he had a firearm, and he pulled out his firearm and shot at it twice. He knows he hit it once. He believes he hit it in the eye. And he looked out the mirror as it had dropped and rolled. He kept going, went to turn around, so he turned around, came back, and by the time he got back, the dog man was nowhere to be seen. You could definitely see where there was a ton of blood on the ground, but there were also two people in a black vehicle that he believes was like a Jeep Grand Cherokee or something. They were both wearing like khaki cargo pants and like a polo shirt. And when he slowed down his truck to ask if they needed help, he's like, hey, what happened here? Do you need help? Second. They're like, oh, no. We don't need help. We were just watching two bears fight, and then they ran off. Well, yeah, I don't believe that. And, a little while after that happened, he gets a knock on the door, and he answers, and the people go, they talk to him, they identify themselves, and they let him know that he had taken out one of their assets. And he's not to say anything. He's not to, talk about it. It never happened. And even one time, he said that they even locked his checking or his bank account just to prove that they could do what they wanted to do. And there was nothing that they could do about it.
Interesting. So, when you hear something like that sounds pretty fantastic, do you have a skeptical side to you that goes, it's unverified? Or do you think, or do you judge him by his sincerity? What do you do?
Well,
at that point, when you have somebody on that's a fantastic story.
It's an absolutely amazing story. And by the way, I sent him a text message and asked him if he'd be available to come on your show, by the way. So,
oh, yeah.
But, I think with my background being in the military, working in the Department of Corrections, that gives me an edge, not a big one, but an edge over most people that deal with interviewing people on a daily basis, because I learned how to read people's body language. I learned how to read their facial expressions. You can definitely tell something, by the tone of their voice, if it raises or lowers. You kind of pick up on little things. I don't have any reason not to believe him at all. And that's the way I look at it when most people, pretty much all people, come on my show, because, how can you with all 100% certainty check out their entire story? You really can't. Do some people embellish their stories a little bit? I think everybody embellishes a story a time or two.
Right. And it's not our job to, it's really not our job to doubt or do anything. It's our doubt to get the information from them,
Right.
from
You
their
know,
their story.
right.
Oh,
100.
jeez, who did
100%.
that?
I did.
Oh, jeez.
That's funny. Yeah, I heard him smash it. I heard him smashing on his
Pretty good.
on his keyboard. That's fantastic.
I love it. Thanks.
You know,
thanks. That's
our
the
new
new
theme.
T-shirt design.
Couldn't resist.
That's
But
awesome. Oh my
I try to
God.
give everybody, the benefit of the doubt, and has it come back to burn me yet? Yes, a time or two, but I just kind of roll with the punches and keep on going.
Well, yeah, but and I've had people call me after a show and they go, "Well, how do you buy into this and that and portals
Yeah.
or whatever?" It's like, hey, that's not my job. My
Right,
job
exactly.
is just to let them tell their story.
Yep.
It's your job if you believe them, not believe them. It's not my job as the host.
Right.
I've listened to other podcasts where the host is judgy. It's really awkward and it's really
Yeah.
uncomfortable for the host to be judgy.
Now, there's times where I'll ask pretty hard questions, and it's not that I'm trying to disprove them or make them feel bad or anything like that, because I'm trying to ask the questions that I know are going to come, and so well, how do you know this, or how do you know that, or how did you come to that conclusion, or that's what I try to do. And again, it's not me trying to disprove them or discredit them. It's just, and I tell them, I says, I'm going to ask some questions that I think people are going to want to ask, that are going to want to know the answers to. I said, this isn't coming from me. These are just questions that are coming in my mind that I think you might see if you look at the chat. So, and then I just, it kind of, I guess, takes the air out of some people's sails if they want to get into the chat and try to ridicule a person or start trashing them, because that's the last thing I want to happen in any of my chats is have.
Well, so a few things. So even if a guest turns off your audience, that doesn't mean the next guest is going to turn you off.
That's correct.
I don't go, oh, I'm only going to get woo people. Oh, I'm only going to get flesh and blood people. I'm only going to get this. I don't judge, because what do I think? I'm smarter than them, or who am I to poo-poo their experience?
Exactly.
It's not my job. It's really not. Our job is just to bring stories to you. That definitely is for sure the audience's job. Jeremiah said, "Amen."
Yeah. I love Jeremiah, and I see Rogers in the house, so that's awesome too. But
Yeah.
and it's funny. It's like, I'll talk about my military service and people.
But hold on 1 second, Jeff. If you put your email address, if any of you guys that have a mic handy and you have your setup, if Jeff, put your email address up, and we'll, you can just say, yeah, we'll send you a join link, Jeremiah, Roger, whoever, because we want to talk about cryptids.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weird things happening, especially now, because people are less afraid to report it.
And I had that exact conversation with somebody, and they asked me, why do I think that more reports are coming out? Do you think it's they're people trying to jump on the bandwagon to make themselves, give them 15 minutes of fame, or is it like you just said, because it's now so mainstream that people are getting less and less afraid to come out with their encounters?
Right.
And one thing that I have noticed, I'm seeing a lot of people that are around my age or a little older than me, I'll say between 50 and 80, that are coming out with stories that had them way back in the 70s or way back in the 80s, and they've held on to them their whole life, and now they're seeing these things. Their grandkids are showing them how to mess around on YouTube, and they find, all of a sudden they find your show, or they find my show, or they find, any of the dozens of other shows out there, that talk about these things, and they may catch an interview or a picture being shown during an interview of what they saw, or a rendition of what they saw, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's what I saw. And now they're more apt to come out here and say, yes, I had this encounter, It was this time. This is when it happened. I was this old, and I have not been able to talk about this for 50 years. You know. So
did the gentleman ever tell you, back to that story, what he meant by, or what those people meant by, you killed one of our assets? What would you possibly use a dogman for?
I mean, what do you think?
I don't know what your idea is.
In my opinion, I think that it's well, right there. I am Vicky. I'm Vicky. I think that's what that's clever. They use dogman to kill people. They use dogman as a weapon. Absolutely, they weaponize it. That's what I think.
Okay.
And again, but here's my thing, you guys. I
want to qualify what he says he thinks doesn't mean he believes it. It's 100%. Just a theory. Yeah,
it's
unverified crap.
Yeah, unverified crap.
It's a load of unverified crap.
But
I'm on the
team.
Keep that handy, okay?
Yeah, I got
it. I'm on the team of flesh and blood because everything I've encountered was flesh and blood. Very credible people that I know have seen things come out of portals, or they've teleported or whatnot. I'm not saying that's not possible. I just haven't seen it. And when someone comes to me with a story like that, I'm not going to try to disprove them. It's just one more story to add to the dozens of other stories that I've heard that just gives it that much more substance of being true.
This is a kind of an interesting theory too, that they use them to chase people away from certain areas.
Oh, I would.
That would be effective.
Yeah, that would
because a lot of times.
But Jeff, put your message up again.
Unverified crap.
On my theory.
Different one.
There you go.
Thank you. Oh my God. Nice.
It's our new disclaimer.
There you go.
God. Well,
but it's like you'll hear a lot of stories of people out in the middle of nowhere, like legit. They're on like a super long, back mountain, back country hike with a group of friends, and all of a sudden they're hearing steel doors slam shut, or they're hearing metal grinding on something.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is that noise? I don't know. And I've had people, tell me they've heard that noise. And my question is, well, what do you think it is? They're like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people do hear like doors slamming.
Yep.
In the middle of the woods, which is completely unverified.
It could be crap,
but it could be true. No, I mean, I'm joking. You can remember I've been joking around a lot just because.
Oh yeah,
I'm in that I'm in that tall mood today.
Hey man,
tall mood.
You feel a couple inches taller. You get a little bit braver.
You get braver, and you just make more.
Drink a 6-pack, 10-foot tall, and bulletproof.
Yeah, when
that's
you feel
right.
taller.
That is exactly right.
And then you have the zippers. You have all these weird metallic-y, strange sounds. But you know what's cool is when it does get verified by another witness.
Yep.
Like they didn't know that this guy heard blah blah blah, and then Adam, he never heard of such a thing called a zipper sound, but his wife was camped out with him one night on his 30-day quest, and Adam hears a zipper sound outside the tent, but he asks his wife, "Did you unzip your sleeping bag?" And she's like, "No." And he hears the sleeping bag unzipping or something similar to a zip,
Yep.
And then we were up at Snellgrove, and Adam comes in one day, early morning. It was like 5 a.m. And he comes in and he goes, "I just heard the zip, 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 zip sound outside." And then he thought, well, I'm going to talk to the zip sound. And then all of a sudden he hears zip, 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 really a low one. And then the little one quit.
Yep. And here's my thing. I think they're mimics. I think it's a Sasquatch. They've been known to mimic sounds and voices. I mean, how many stories have you heard? And I'm talking even to the chat, you guys. How many times you guys heard a story where Joe Schmo was on the back deck enjoying a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden he hears his name being called from the woods that sounds like his wife, and he knows darn good well his wife just got into the shower, yet he's hearing her voice call his name out in the woods. It happens all the time, or you'll hear like a mom out in the backyard working in her garden, and she'll hear her kids laughing, and her kids are either in the house or they're over at grandma and grandpa's house, or they're over with their dad if she's a single mom, So, I mean, think about it. Could it have been like you said, could Adam have maybe heard something mimicking that zipper sound?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But Monongahela believes, and he's another sound expert, that sound is their word for human. Because he's heard it too many times in the company of people or near people. And he kind of, once again, it's an unverified theory. Go ahead, Jeff. It's unverified, but it makes sense. It's unverified, but it makes sense. So there you go.
I'm going to keep that one handy.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody, David Birch says,
that's hilarious.
I hear my wife calling to me creepy style from out of the woods. I'm leaving, smoke Scooby-Doo style. Yeah, exactly.
That is hilarious.
Well, there's been a lot of hunters that, I don't know if you've ever heard about this, Daniel, but hunters hear like a little child calling them for help.
Yep.
And that is the creepiest thing. And I've heard this personally from 3 hunters going, I'm out in the woods and I'm hearing what sounds like a little child calling me for help. And I started walking towards, and then it hit them. This could be a trap of some sort.
Have you heard of the East Texas golem? Have you heard that story?
Yes, I've heard of. Yeah, I've heard these terms.
Oh,
go ahead.
Where the guy? So this guy got a hunting lease with some buddies of his.
Yes, William, you can get one.
And he wanted to kind of up his hunting game because they were out there hunting wild pigs, right? So he goes and spends like $5,000 to $6,000 for a new thermal scope to put on his rifle. And so he decides he wants to go out one night and test it out. So he goes out to their hunting lease. He sets up on this tree, and he's there for about an hour, right?
Yeah.
And nothing at all. All around is piney woods and brush and all that type of stuff. So he gets up. He's like, hey, I might as well move over here. Maybe I'll get a different angle and see things. I'm not really sure. So he goes and moves about 150 yards away, and he sets up on this tree. And he is sitting there waiting. He's looking through his scope. All of a sudden, he sees something moving through like the piney woods. He's like, what is that? So he's looking through his thermal, and he says, what is that? It looks like a person. First he thought it might have been a bear, but then the way it moved, he goes, that's a person. And it was kind of moving on all, hands and feet. Well, it goes to the tree that he was sitting up at before, and he said this thing was fixated on the tree. Like it was sniffing where his back was up against the tree, sniffing the bark. He said all of a sudden the thing squats and puts its hands behind its legs as it's squatting down, and it starts sniffing the air, and it looks around. All of a sudden it lifts its head up and it hears, help me, I need help. And he's like, what the heck is going on? He says what he heard was a woman's voice. So he's still looking at this thing, and then he hears again, help me, I'm hurt, can someone help me? And he said it started looking around, and it kind of looked at him in his direction. So he took a shot at it over its head because he still wasn't sure if this was a person or not. And this thing didn't even move. So then he takes another shot at it, and that's when it took off. And it took off in the opposite direction that it came, which just so happened to be the opposite direction where his truck was. So he grabbed his stuff and ran to his truck and got out of there. But I mean, again, you hear people saying, well, I heard someone saying, what I heard was yelling mommy, or was crying for mom or mommy, and then you have people that are saying, that, big cats make certain noises. I mean, from being from the Pacific Northwest, I mean, I've heard cougars and mountain lions and kits and things like that. They're cubs.
Yeah.
I've never heard them make noises like children laughing.
Well, not talking, not.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
But I mean,
by the way, Jeff, let Roger in.
Yeah, welcome,
We got
Roger.
a surprise guest.
Who do we got here? What's up, brother?
What's up, Dano?
What's up, man?
By the way, we have named, and you'll be proud of us, we have named a group of Sasquatches a band of boogers.
Band of boogers.
So you would be very proud of us, Roger.
Yes, sir. I didn't know they were boogers until about 6 years ago. I mean, nobody talks about it around here. So when I started meeting some of the Southern people, they were talking about boogers, and I'm like, well, okay, I guess we can call them that.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a great name, but really nobody's ever named. We were naming all these different, like, a tall of giraffes. What are some
waddle of penguins?
Yeah, there's all these interesting names, but nobody
Parliament of Owls.
Jellyfish.
But no one ever has named a group of Bigfoots. So
Flathead did. A band of boogers.
Yeah,
band of boogers.
I like that one.
So that's the official term now.
I'm gonna get that tattoo.
A band.
Yep.
A band of boogers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, see, I remember my nanny, my great grandma, talking about boogers. Always, when I was a little kid living in West Virginia, man, my great grandmother, if me and my cousins were out getting stupid, acting like a bunch of crazy fools, she'd be like, "You boys, you better not go up them woods and get stupid, because them boogers, they'll get you, and we'll never see you guys again." I'm like, oh, damn.
I remember the older folks talking about the boogers getting you, but I just assumed it was the boogeyman or goat, or just trying to scare us or whatever. But after I heard the term and started talking to people, I'm like, wait a minute, maybe. And the more reports I get from this area from back in the 60s and 70s, well, maybe they did mean that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, we got to get this thing on track here.
Less unverified crap.
So,
or more
okay,
unverified.
do you guys both kind of lean towards the paranormal camp when it comes to all of these weird cryptids like the golem, the rake, these winged humanoids, and things like that, or do you put all of them in that camp, or do you put none of them in that camp?
Well, the pale crawlers, the rakes, whatever you want to call them, even the East Texas golem, I think those are all one and the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about a paranormal side of them, because what I saw when I was 17 was flesh and blood.
Yeah.
And I can't say that it was 100% if there was paranormal activity, because what I heard and what I saw, I don't know. See, Mixie is saying, demons. There is that possibility. Some people think that they're demons, and again, you guys, when it comes to the realm of cryptids, whether you consider it a cryptid or not a cryptid, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. I'm just going to say I haven't yet encountered it yet, so that's why I'm leaning towards what I lean towards until I see it myself.
I gotcha. Okay, so you don't lean that way, the paranormal. What about you, Roger?
The truthful answer is I don't know. I'm like Daniel. Unless I see something, I'll listen to somebody's story, and if I hear 10 stories and these things, I have a description. Maybe you can go look, 2,000 years ago and see what something similar was called. You just think about the first person to ever see an airplane. I've talked to people that saw it, they didn't know what it was, and they thought it was some type of monster. So I think the best thing to do is just go back. My personal thoughts on some of this, though, I never really thought about it until the past 6 years. It may be something biblical. It may be something, because I've taken reports from this county of a winged creature that landed on an airport fence, and the fence is still bent. I drove by there. It's close to my son's house, and I believe this guy. I mean, he's my son's age, and he's not into all these subjects we're talking about. And he came clean one night and he said, I need to talk to you, but you're gonna think I'm crazy. So, but really, I don't know. That's one thing I'm trying to figure out. I really don't want to see anything like that. You know, we saw some strange lights last night, and in the woods.
Last night.
My son and I, about 15 foot behind this cedar up off the ground, it looked like a camera flash, and I said, I just got a flash over here, and we've seen orbs there before.
Yeah.
And then he saw it 2 more times, but it was navigating through the woods. I have no idea what that was. Could it be something strange like we talk about? I have no explanation. So that's the way I am with this other stuff. I had a lady ask me in an interview one time about this same question about the tie between aliens and Bigfoot, whatever. And I had no answer, but I said, ma'am, if I see a Bigfoot step out of a UFO, you'll be the first I'll call. You're first person. So you have to experience some of these things you can have opinions, but like Daniel, when he saw what he saw, then I'll sit here and like, Daniel, are you sure it was what you saw, or was it something representing something else? That's always a possibility too.
Yep.
I've seen things that I can't explain, and it just way we say it all the time. It brings more questions to the table than anything. But at least we're exploring it. You know, maybe we will find an answer.
Yeah. Okay. So these orbs you saw last night, were they just flashing, or were they like constant on ever?
It looked like you were up in a tree 15 foot, and you know those old flash cameras that I'm sure you used or invented.
Yeah.
It just
Good night, everybody.
It lit up behind the cedar, and I could tell. That's how I knew it was behind it. But it was about 15 foot up, and then we were looking for.
How close were you, Roger?
It was 20 yards to the edge of the woods, so it was another 15 feet inside, maybe.
Is this verified?
I don't have it on. I don't know. I've missed the conversation. What is it?
Jeff, you better throw it up.
There you go. Unverified crap.
Yeah.
Your home of unverified crap right there.
And that's the thing when you experience these things, it's so hard to catch. You know, we caught that amazing orb on thermal, but that was by accident. You know, I wasn't setting up trying to get an orb. It just happened. And I feel fortunate that it happened. But yeah, most of this stuff is unverified, and it's always going to be unverified because I was standing behind Gary Spikes a few weeks ago when we had a tree picker peek out in the daylight.
Yeah.
And he hit the button I saw him hit it. It was perfect timing. Now we've got this picture that only 2 people on the planet know that it moved and peeked out twice.
Yeah, but you can see the thing. I mean, the creature in the thing. I mean, you see the head, and you guys claim that that was all gone. And Adam even set up cameras there.
Yeah, and so people that don't know, all we could do. I went straight to it, and we found impressions that look like footprints. We had a master tracker, I'll call him, but he came in and we followed, and the sound I heard, the way it went, we found disturbances, and it was about 4.5 feet up the hill between footsteps. So even though we know the pictures and the video is not going to prove anything, but for our own benefit, and so we could go back and tell people, this is what we did after. This is what we found. And, you know, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
As far as identifying what it was, but I've never seen any of that. It actually peeked out and did a double take.
Well, there's a bunch of theories on these orbs. Do you think they're sentient? Like they're some kind of strange living biological creature that lights up? Or do you think they're like from another planet, or do you think they're just part of the forest that we don't understand?
Well, I've had people tell me what they've been told and have been passed down through families. But here's what I'll tell you. When I was looking through that, it was a really expensive, really good thermal. And I call them probably the wrong things. It was a thermal. But it looked like through the eyepiece, it was like 4K ultra clear, like a video game. And this thing was perfectly round, and it had a membrane that was visible. It had a nucleus, and it was see-through, and it was pulsating slowly. So, and it moved like something alive. So whatever you take from that, I can't tell you what it was, but here's the thing though. I sent that to a lot of people and nobody can tell me what it was.
I never got it.
Yes. We probably showed it on your show.
But what is with you and Orbs? Because you had one like go into your tent.
Yes, and I wasn't
there.
Other
people saw it. You didn't even see it, but other people verified it.
There were 8 people that saw this thing. We set up and we left, checked into the cabin, came back the next day, and people surrounded the truck like, "What do you have in your tent that can glow?" I said, "There's nothing in there. Let's go look." And I showed them. There's nothing here. And Lori Ladd says she saw it flash outside of it, and then either it went inside or disappeared and showed up inside, and it looked green and it was moving around.
And it was moving around inside the tent. They could see it through the
They could see it through the wall. Yeah.
I've seen orbs. I've seen orbs.
I would not.
So
You didn't sleep in there that night, though, did you, Roger? In that tent.
At that location, I didn't sleep there any night. That's why I had a cabin. I learned a lot. On
so
the
you're not
trip.
okay. Just to verify this, you didn't sleep in the tent with the orb, correct?
No.
Good. Good for
and
you.
You asked me a question, like I think you asked me, did it surprise you or whatever? And at this point, the things we've seen, no, it doesn't surprise me. And I don't know why it's always around my stuff, but I had people was calling me Lucky Roger there for a little while. And then I started thinking, well, what if it is something about me? I need to be checking into this. I don't know what it is, but the good thing is, I've never told a story that there wasn't at least one more to multiple witnesses, or we caught on audio or video. So, there's some stories that we've seen things, and it's happened so much. It's almost getting to be expected, I guess. I know it sounds weird, but
have you ever seen an orb, Daniel?
I've seen tons of orbs, but I don't really talk about them because
why?
They're paranormal to me, and from what I understand from my great grandma and my grandma, those are wandering souls. Not necessarily they're not malevolent, but they're just wandering souls.
Okay.
I remember seeing them when I lived in near Huntington, West Virginia. We lived up in this holler, and I remember looking out my bedroom window out in the woods behind our house, seeing these things move through the woods. And I always thought it was my cousins out there messing with me because they're out there with flashlights. And I'd seen flashes out there as well. And again, I thought it was, like you said, it was a camera. And then I remember asking my great grandma about it. She's like, "Oh, no. Those are spirits. There's wandering souls. They're looking for something." He goes, "You just leave them alone. They're not here to hurt you. They're just out looking for something."
You know what they used to call them in the olden days?
Will-o-wisp.
The willow of the wisp. My dad used to talk about those, and I was like, "Ooh, man!" My hackles went up as a little kid, sitting on the steps with my dad, and he's telling me about willow of the wisp.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, I'll tell you, the first one I ever saw, I didn't know anything about orbs. We have people always say this. Look it up. It's the Chapel Hill Light in Tennessee. And of course, they have a legend that goes with it, and we all thought it was BS. And I showed up one night, and the conditions must have been right. It was about the size of a beach ball. What I did notice, though, it looked like the color of ball lightning I'd seen before, but it was perfectly round, and it looked like it was drawn to the train tracks. And once it got up on the train tracks, it shimmied like it was trying to balance out between the two. And then once it steadied, it started moving towards us really, really smooth and slow. And then when it left, it looked like it wasn't its choice. When it left, it looked like it was ripped off the tracks and went back the way it came. So I don't know. I've heard stories of rivers having sulfur in them, and these other minerals in each side, basically causing a big battery type situation. So I don't know. Maybe like the commenter said, there's different types, and I would probably go with that. But definitely, it's energy, and I don't think the way this other one was moving, we caught on camera. It looked like it had a little intelligence to it. So I don't know. I mean, it 15 years ago, I would have been more scared, but now, talking to people like Daniel here, we just you bounce stories off of each other and listen, you soak it up.
Somebody had mentioned, I think it was octopus with no friends, or it's octopus with a ton of friends. Said
unverified friends.
Unverified friends. That her daughter saw pink orbs, which mean Yvette saw 2 pink orbs. It was in the winter, and they came. We obviously they caught our eye because they were neon Pepto-Bismol pink, and there were 2 of them traveling together. And then they stopped in front of the parkway, and they headed right for my car. And they were both right above the windshield, and one disappeared, blinked out, and one took off. It was so weird. The color, like you're not mistaking Pepto-Bismol pink for anything.
Right.
And now they were big, they were probably, I would say, soccer ball size or bigger.
Now, before we caught this one on video.
Barbie Orbs, sorry. Sorry, it's such a good witty comment that William Nighthawk said Barbie Orbs. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. What drew our attention to the woods were the red orbs, the smaller ones. And that's when all the cameras came out, and it was pitch dark. And that's not what they were different than the one that I saw. Now, I've been told by many people this color means that or whatever, but hold on a second. I got a call. Oh, Lord. Okay. Sorry, y'all.
That's a good job.
The cough button.
Those cough buttons are so handy, aren't they?
Oh, no, I know. I used to not do it, and then I would listen to the podcast. I'm like, oh, I got to stop that.
I did a podcast for Dave Schrader. I was like on his first podcast back in the studio over at WCCO, and I had been in that studio, and I used to go there a lot. You were there with me, weren't you?
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
Anyhow, they got the old big giant analog square buttons that say cough on it.
Yep. Yeah, it's an old facility. It's kind of a time warp.
Are you guys talking about the one downtown Minneapolis?
Yeah, it needs to be a museum. Yep. It's so amazing. The same orange couch, the plaid orange couch, is in the lobby that was there back when I used to go there in the 80s. It's still there.
Now, Kim just commented that she saw one that's like plasma pulsing in different colors. The first one,
I've seen that too.
The smaller
change colors.
I saw the one was like 17. Then just a few years ago, Heather and I were in the truck, and I didn't feel like getting out that night for some reason. And just to her right, about 10 foot up, there was, and I've told this story a bunch, but it was elongated, but it was pulsating like she's talking about, and it was just changing shapes. And this went on for 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay, whoa, back the truck up, Roger. Was this something you saw?
Yes, she pointed it out, and she's like, "What is that light?" And of course, I lean over, I couldn't see it. I'm like, "What in the world?" So I changed position. I backed up and pulled forward. I don't know how many times, getting different angles on it. I wasn't walking over there. Of course, I investigated the next day. Went back. There's nothing in the tree, but she's right. It reminded me of something boiling, but not really boiling. It was pulsating and.
Okay.
Stayed the same color.
I got the orb story that I would love to hear it from somebody else. Adam has seen one of these. It's not only sparking, it's got those sparks coming off it, like in those old, remember the old guns, you'd squeeze the trigger and the sparks would come out at the end. Like that, but it's also changing colors from bright green to blue to red to yellow to green, blue, and sparks are coming off it. And we had one come right out of the airport right from the runway. On the it would have been the east runway, and it's heading towards my car, misses the windshield by maybe 10 feet, and keeps going and goes into the woods. And I got the feeling like it was dying. And that's what the sparks were. It was like running out of battery or whatever you'd call it. And I got the same feeling like it was in trouble. And the way it headed into the woods, it was kind of sagging. It was going, but it was moving slow. So if anybody's seen a sparking orb that changes color, God, let me know.
When I was in Germany, back in 90, I want to say this happened in 92. I was part of a 2-man mobile patrol, and we were driving our patrol area, and it was super dark out. We were working mids, and we were working mids. And as we were coming around the curve of this road, we thought that somebody had like a searchlight on. As we were coming around, they were coming around. And all we saw was like this, as soon as we came around the curve, like at the same time, we got hit with that light, but that immediately shut off to like a dim color. And it looked like a basketball sized thing that just went like straight, instead of following the curve of the road, it just went straight off into the woods.
Wow.
And this was on base. And my partner and I, we pulled the vehicle over. We're like, what the bleep, 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 bleep was that? And we turned around and we started looking, and we got out where we thought it had went off in the woods, and we pulled the vehicle right up. We hit the brights, and we had those takedown lights on the top of the car. So those are super bright. And we're just out looking around, and we saw or heard nothing.
That's
but
crazy.
But that was on a military base, you know.
By the way, William, you got 2 demerits. Okay.
Lori just came in the chat. She's the one that saw the first one outside the tent and
really?
pointed it out. Yeah.
Lori.
So this first one I saw, it's hard to explain. Can you imagine something size of a beach ball emitting light from every direction because it's round, right?
Right.
When this thing came out of the woods and went back, it was probably midnight or after. The shadows. Have you heard the term the shadows dancing?
No.
As it was changing, each foot it was going fast. The tree shadows were changing. It's one of the most incredible sights I've ever seen, and I can't put that into words. But that showed me that it was emitting light from it at every angle, and for some reason I wasn't scared of it. I don't know why.
Roger and Dan and Jeff, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this story, but I was in North Carolina, about maybe a mile from Fayetteville, if you know where that is, close to Fort Bragg. And we're parked at a light, and out above, from the car window, above the car, probably, I'm guessing 1,000 feet up, was the biggest orb that from an arm's length looked to be about maybe as far as you could stretch your fingers. So like 5 inches, 6 inches. It was massive, and it's sparking, going really slow and changing colors. This is another incident years ago, back in like 92, 93, 1992, 93. And we get over to the home we're going to, and on the TV while we walk in the house is a special report about the military looking for a downed plane. Well, I can tell you this was no jet going down. This was a perfectly round orb, changing colors, sparks coming off it, but massive. I mean, it looked to me, I would guess it was 100 feet across, minimum.
Wow.
Well, that's a big orb, guys.
Yeah.
And to see the special report of the military looking for a down plane, and I'm thinking, what a bullshit, what a bull crap cover story that was.
Demerit.
Yeah, I took your demerits away, William, and I took
potty mouth.
Yeah, throw that up. No, we need a potty mouth We need a potty mouth. Go ahead, Graf.
Put $1 in the tip jar.
Just did.
So, Doug, when you first got into this, searching for Bigfoot and all the science, and what did you think when you started seeing this other stuff and hearing these?
Didn't connect them at all. Yeah. I still don't really, I'm open to it, but I don't. Right. I think they're two separate phenomena.
Yeah.
And I, of course, like orbs have always been really interesting to me because when we were, maybe I was 9 years old, 8 years old, me and my sister were upstairs and we both smelt sulfur. And my parents were gone. They went out that night and we had cleaned the entire house. We had mopped the floors, vacuumed. And now we're sitting at the kitchen table kind of, we're gloating how happy mom and dad are going to be that we cleaned the whole house. And we're sitting there and I smell sulfur. Then Wendy smelled sulfur. And we kept smelling sulfur and it would drift back and forth. I said, we need to search the house. Something could be on fire or burning, right? So one of the first places we went is into the basement. And what do you think we see? We get down towards the end of the stairs and a sparking orb flies from my left and heads to the right and hits the wall by our pool table and explodes. Then another one comes out and does the same thing, like went through the concrete, but then exploded in a shower of sparks. Okay, now everything pales after that, right?
Right.
And we ran upstairs, told our parents that obviously they didn't believe us. But that was my first experience truly with the paranormal or whatever it was.
Well, it's so confusing because, I've had people that are just flesh and blood only and all that, and that's fine, have their mind opened up. At the LBL a few years ago, I was talking to a lady and her husband. I know them very well now. They were on the flesh and blood side. It's like they're scared to even say anything other than that. But she was telling us a story about, she looked up and saw, I think it was a yellowish orb in the sky, and it had that, when you burn plastic and it drips and it's on fire, when she said it was doing that, and that it came down, and there was a lot of people standing there that saw it. So, and since then she's had other things happen. So I don't know if it's the area or it could be the area and the person, we don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird. Okay, we're turning this into an orb show. We gotta quit now.
What are we talking about?
Cryptids, Cryptid Rogers.
Unverified crap.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
I got a new one here. This is from Tristan. Tristan sent this to us.
That's a great name.
Oh my
God, that.
That's awesome.
Question everything.
Well, it's true. I mean, it's just
those are fantastic.
Yeah, Tristan just sent those to me.
Yeah, it's all copyrighted now.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Tristan. Anyhow, okay. Cryptids. Okay, what do you guys make of these like rakes? Do you get reports down south of that stuff? I think it's more of a northernly thing. I really do.
I've never heard. I heard that word for the first time maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, so you're not getting reports of that.
I saw mine in Tennessee.
And you did?
Yeah, so Shelby County.
So did we talk? We didn't talk about this yet.
No. You said you wanted to hear about cryptids, man.
Well, that is a cryptid, isn't it?
I know that, but when you automatically think of cryptids, you think Dogman, you think of well, Bigfoot,
I didn't say we needed the Jennifer Lopez of cryptids. I just said cryptids.
Well, Dan, I've seen stuff in Memphis I can't talk about. So,
brother, I tell you right now, I have seen things in Memphis that you cannot talk about.
No, that's another show.
See, okay, what I meant by that was we don't have to just talk about popular ones. I like the offbeat stuff.
Well, you asked me earlier what was one of the scariest encounters that I've had come on the show. Now, outside of Joe Barger's, There's a gentleman named Tyler, and he had that 911 rate call, and I had him on. And if you guys aren't familiar with
the
it,
one with the truck
where he says it's not human, it's not human. I had him on.
That is chilling.
And that call was 6 years ago. And when I was interviewing him, we had to do it twice. We had to do 2 interviews. The first one didn't quite work out, so we made an appointment for the next day. And I could still see when he talks about it. I can still see the terror that he goes through internally with that. That is one of the scariest encounters that I've ever heard on my show.
Oh yeah, and so that was you had him on your show, the actual guy.
Yep.
How did you find him? How did you find him?
I know people.
Yeah, obviously.
Can't verify it though.
Oh no, it's verified. I'll give you.
Probably
contact.
found a voice actor to do it.
No,
That's
a
crazy story.
And I actually have the 911 call.
Have you heard that, Roger?
I've heard the audio.
The 911 call. Can you find it, Jeff?
Probably.
If you want to go to either the Cryptid podcast and check it out there.
Yeah, well, yeah, just play it. Find it on his.
I'll tell you what episode it is.
It's funny.
We just lost half our audience all running over.
I know, right?
Thanks, Dan.
Well, I do what I can do, man.
Yeah, all's fair in war and podcasting.
That's right. I read a story in the late 70s in the newspaper. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and everybody was laughing. And I'm like, what's going on? And the town's about 15 miles from here. I'm not going to mention it right now. It's small. And what I read in the paper, this man had been having food stolen out of his smokehouse. And he set up one night with a shotgun, and something was already inside. It came out, and he said it had a torso of a man, and it had hooves for feet. It looked like the devil and all this stuff. So years later, I remember that story, and I've looked all over. I can't find it. And a few weeks ago, my wife met a lady she knew, and she asked how I was doing or whatever, and she told what we were talking about. And she said, "Oh my God, my granddad had an experience here, and it was the same guy. So we're going to get together. I want to talk to him about what he saw. I want to get that documented before, he passes away. He's really old now, but I was like a kid on Christmas when she came home and told me. I'm like, I've wondered about that story my whole life. And I remember the details. I just want to know if I have the details correct. But the lady told her that he doesn't talk about it much because people laughed at him, and every time he went out in public, back then it was a whole lot different than now. But we just don't know how many stories and how many things people have seen that we don't know yet.
No, because most people, the more less known cryptids are less likely to be talked about. So what did you see, Dan? Do it short. Do me the short.
Okay, short version.
Yeah, not that drawn out one.
No, I'll give
all those details are unverified anyhow.
Here it is. Yeah, unverified. So here's the short thing. Moved back to Tennessee, hanging out with a buddy of mine that I had known since my freshman year. The first year I went to the high school I was going to, my senior year, I skipped 10th and 11th grade, and I was in school in Washington for those 2 grades. Was going to hang out with him for the weekend, ride mini bikes, which we did. His parents were gone for the night. We come back, and as we were going through the woods, it's next to his property. His dad had like 300 plus acres. I want to say roughly that. He was a farmer, so he had grow fields. And then when we went through those woods, because there's an old like farmhouse, like late 1800s, early 1900s house in the middle of these woods. You would drive right by those to go out to where his dad grows his crops. And as we were coming through, my buddy kind of slowed down his mini bike and kind of looked and then took off. Well, as he slowed down, I looked as well, and I saw something standing in one of the windows of this old house. Then I took off up after him, and we run out, drop the bikes, jump up in the house. and I go, man, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see someone over there in that house? He's like, yeah. Why do you think I took off? And so when we went into the house, he was hoping to find his dad. Tell his dad, hey, there's someone down in that house. Didn't see him. So I was goofing off, sitting in his dad's chair, which you're not supposed to do, and cranked up the TV. We'll listen to it, and I started hearing this scratching, and I didn't know where it was coming from, and I thought it was coming from the TV. So I would kind of switch the channels, and I kept hearing it. I'd slow it down, or I'd turn it down, and then I didn't hear it anymore. Then I turn it up again, and I hear the scratching again. I'm thinking, oh, great, I blew a speaker in this TV. So then I start changing the channels again, and then I turned it down, and I didn't hear the scratching. I'm getting ready to turn it up again, and then I hear the scratching again.
Is this a short story again?
Yes, this is going to be a short one.
Okay.
So I look at the window, out the window that my back is to, and I see a face looking into the window like this. And this thing was grayish, white, pale white. Its skin was pulled tight on its skull. It had like a nose, like a short, like pushed in nose, kind of like Voldemort, kind of, if that's what you want to call it. A huge mouth. And where its eyes should be, which is like dark, like hollow sockets almost. And I jumped out of the chair. My buddy comes running in because he hears me yelling. He's like, what? And I tell him, and he looks, and I'm thinking he's just kind of look like this, but he went right up to the window himself, and he jumped back. He goes, I just saw something take off away from the house. So we get some shotguns, and we go out in the backyard, and we hear his dogs just barking. His dogs were super chill dogs. They hardly barked at anything. We go and turn on the flashlight that he has, and I had this little plastic piece of crap one. And so we go out there, and the dogs, their tails are curled up, their hackles are all up on their back. I mean, these dogs are ready to fight. We've never seen these dogs like this. So we go and try to get them to come away because they're standing right at the tree line pretty close to it. And we're like, come on, boys, come on. And they wouldn't move. Well, about that time, we hear something scream from the woods. And I go to turn to my buddy, and I mean, did you just hear that? And he was gone, and the dogs were gone. And I turn and I look behind me, and they're hauling butt back up to the house. I take off running, but I hear something coming up behind me, come through the woods, and I'm trying to use this lame flashlight to shine the light behind me to see if I could see something, but I just didn't. I get up to the house with them. We all pile into the house, even the dogs who are not supposed to be in there. We lock all the doors, all the windows, pull all the shades and curtains, and we stayed up as late as we possibly could. We were afraid that this thing was going to come and get us. We had taken his dad's chair and shoved it up into the stairway going upstairs because we thought that was going to protect us if it was coming in through the top windows. As we, crashed, the next thing I remember is his dad kicking me in the foot and wanting to know what the heck was going on because the dogs are in there. We got shotguns out, and we tell him what happens. So he tells us to get in the truck. So we get in the truck. We go down into the woods. He pulls it up. He'd grabbed his AR before we did this, and he goes up into this house. He's like, which window? And I had to tell him because my buddy wasn't telling him the right window. So I told him what window it was. And as he walked in the house, there's two ways to get up to the upper floor of this house. There's one right to the right of the front door. It goes upstairs to the second floor. And then at the top of that stairs, it turns to the left or it goes straight. Left is where the bedrooms, and I think like 2 or 3 bedrooms and then a bathroom. And then if you go straight, the hallway goes to another stairway that goes down into the kitchen. His dad goes up, looks in the living room, goes into the next room, looks in the dining room, goes into the kitchen, walks around. Next thing you know, we hear him yell, start the truck, start the truck, start the truck. And he comes running through the house. He was a big boy, 300 plus pounds, 6'5", 6'8", something like that. Just a big country fed farmer. And he jumped off of the porch down to the truck, puts it in gear, drives up through his backyard, which he loved his backyard. His backyard looked like a golf course. It was so immaculate. Tore up his backyard driving through it. Gets out. Now we're thinking something's coming after. So me and my buddy, we're still have our shotguns and we're looking to see if something comes out of the tree line. Nothing does, but soon we hear a big semi truck pulling up into his dad's property, and there's an excavator on the back of this trailer that it was pulling.
Say, Dan.
Yeah,
I would have started the story right there.
Wow. Sorry. but his dad goes and takes the excavator off of the trailer. This guy takes it off the excavator. His dad gets in it, drives it down, and they completely level that old house. It was in the woods, and then he set fire to all the rubble.
Crazy.
Now, I asked my buddy later, what did your dad see? He didn't really want to talk about it. He says he didn't see anything, but he heard something, and it scared him enough to have him come running out of the truck or out of the house. And since then, they've sold the property. Last I heard, his dad now lives in Florida, and my buddy lives over in over like middle to eastern Tennessee somewhere.
He's probably close to me now.
Yeah, he's still running.
Yeah,
that's a crazy story. Anyhow, what's the weirdest cryptid down in your neck of the woods, Roger? Is it just dog? I think it's dogmen, isn't it?
I don't know. That would be, LBO is famous for that. That's about 2.5 hours from here.
Yeah. And you saw something that looked like a dogman.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've never, thank goodness, never laid eyes on anything like that.
Oh.
Now I've seen thermal video from some friends.
But I thought you saw something white. I can't remember what it was. Was that a?
Oh, that was a wolf. That was
just a regular wolf.
Yeah, that was an unexpected. That was at the LBL too.
And there's timber wolves down there.
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
I've seen red wolves here. They're rare, but I've seen those.
Yeah.
I've been close to one wolf. It was a pet, so I knew how big they were. I knew how long their legs were. But after midnight on a road, driving, and you can imagine he was snow white. So when the lights hit him, he just lit up. But what was strange, his ears were up and his neck was up like he was after something. And then when we came around the curve and the lights hit him, he looked at us, and I've never seen red eye shine like this on a dog. They may do it. I've just never seen it. But when our lights hit him, they just exploded with shine. And a squirrel shimmy like it doesn't know which way to go. That's what it did. And when it did, it blended together. Now I know what that was, but it was unsettling. But here's the kicker. There was a turn in, and he ran at an angle back the way he came. I knew he was going to have to cross that road. And I pulled in, didn't see him. And my wife, she said, "Oh heavens." I'm like, "What is it?" She said, "I just saw a vapor. A vapor moving across the road." I'm like, "What was the size of it?" About the size of a big dog. So I didn't see it. I'm looking headlights down this trail or this road. I didn't see anything, and she sees something. And the way she described that, now we interviewed Mike Smith. Mike's a great guy. He lives up there, and they had a similar situation. He saw something looked like a mist or a vapor. It had a shape to it, and I don't know what's going on up there, y'all.
Well, it sounds a little odd. I mean, it's just very out of place. It's almost a cryptid sighting.
Well,
a white wolf, because what would a big long-legged white wolf be doing down in the LBL?
It's the biggest canine I've ever seen. Look at David Ellis's comment there.
No, about Ron Moorhead's daughter.
Well, there was one. He just put it that they normally fiery white, yellow, or greenish eye shine. This was this red.
Wow.
And I don't know if that was the unsettling part of it, but I was in the truck. It shouldn't.
So how do you know you didn't see a dogman on all fours?
Well, let me tell you this.
This is all unverified crap, that.
I know. So when
Jeff?
it turned to leave, it was odd looking because most animals will crouch down and change directions and push away
Right.
and spin. This thing lifted its front legs off the ground and turned at the hips like a trailer, and set it and turned almost backwards and set its front feet down, and the rear end followed it like a trailer.
Wow.
That didn't make sense to me.
That
Now
doesn't
I'm
make sense.
not saying that it was anything other than a wolf, but you can
Right.
see why I was unsettled, because nothing was right about that thing.
No, it was a very what we would call a not wolf, or
Yeah, not wolf.
a not wolf.
So
Jeff,
yeah,
Jeff finally saw something
not deer.
weird with me. You were driving right behind me, right, Jeff?
Yep.
And we saw a not deer.
Yeah. It's weird.
So it was Jeff's first weird thing. Where do you think? Somewhere that you drove right by the other day, Dan.
Bro, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right in Blaine.
No. It was in Lino.
Or Lino Lakes, yeah.
Oh,
between on the way to Lino Lakes from Blaine.
Are you? Oh.
Three of us saw it. Yeah, it was. It was a miniature deer. It was not a fawn. I know white-tailed deer extremely well.
Yeah.
And it was not a fawn. It wasn't spot. I mean, it was
a full-grown deer that was
a full-grown
like maybe
deer
a
that
foot
was
high.
tiny. It was weird. Three of us saw it.
It was like you
not
took
a
a
fawn.
complete doe and literally put it in a
shrunk her.
machine and shrunk it.
I mean, proportioned like an adult,
Proportionally perfect,
colored like an adult doe,
Yep,
but
yep.
tiny.
Did you go by was it over by Rice Creek area?
It was right by the Bill's Superette.
No kidding.
It's north of Bill's.
my
Three of us
goodness.
saw it.
Yeah.
I guess
Three
I know.
separate cars.
I know what I'm going to be looking for. But when Roger, you talk about that deer, I mean that wolf. I told Doug yesterday about the encounter I had up in the UP up in Michigan, just west of Escanaba. And I saw the biggest wolf I had ever seen in my life, and I told Doug it was so big that it could have taken its chin and rested it on the hood of my full size Silverado, and I told him, I said, I was at a dead stop on the road. There was no one else coming towards me or behind me. This wolf was looking at me. It had stopped in the middle of the road, and I had to fight the urge to get out of my truck and approach this animal. Like, I'm not saying that, I want to go. Like, I felt like something was compelling me to get out of your truck, open your door, get out of your truck, and approach this wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of looked at me a couple more times, and then it just walked away. Now, the coincidental part of this is just west of Escanaba, there is a cemetery, and it just so happens it took place in that area. And it moved from the side of where the cemetery is from, going across the road towards the lake. So it's coincidental. But you guys, I hate to do this to you. I've got to go. I got to get up early in the morning.
You got to do Dano in the morning.
I am, yeah. 6:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, you guys.
So catch him early tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
He's gonna. Do you drink coffee?
Sometimes I drink coffee. Sometimes I drink Mountain Dew.
Okay,
but a lot of times I drink unsweetened iced tea.
I might be watching tomorrow.
Doug, you hardly ever sleep.
I might be
love to see
watching.
you in
I was
there.
up. Oh man, I saw the sun come up today,
Yeah,
but I went
there
to
you
bed
go.
about when the sun was coming up. So
Awesome.
Well, thanks, Daniel, for coming on.
Thank you, Daniel, and have
It's a
great
pleasure.
night.
Hey, Jeff and Doug,
Well-
we have to do lunch again.
Yeah, for sure. Love to see you.
We'll have you back, and we'll pick up on some more cryptid stories.
Cool. All right, guys.
Oh,
Hey, Roger, great seeing you again, buddy.
You too. See you
All
later.
right. Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Daniel.
having me.
Have
Bye.
have a safe flow.
I will, man. And don't forget, man, don't bonk your head walking through
No,
the door because
I
you look
won't
a little
bonk my
taller.
head because I am taller.
I'll see you guys
See
later.
ya. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you.
Bye. Oh my God.
Now what?
Now
What do we
what?
talk about?
So
well,
okay.
I've got that clip that he talked about. I got that ready.
Oh
to play.
yeah, let's play that real
Let's
quick.
see
and
here.
Let's talk about this.
I think this is
It's
the right
hard.
one.
Here's my point on a clip like this. Audio is the hardest thing to fake. It's even harder than visuals, is audio. So listen to the audio.
This is straight from his podcast.
Oh, I'm sure we have
Let me know
permission.
What your thoughts are?
Turn up the volume.
County 911. What's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53E. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road?
Yes, ma'am, and it looked like he was bleeding because when I drove by, I had my high beams on, and all I could see was just some streaks of red going down his body, starting at his head.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get exactly where you're at.
I'm kind of in the middle of the woods at the moment.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with the area.
Now partnering with Dish, Starlink.
All right. I don't think that was the whole clip. That wasn't the clip. No, that was not the clip.
Jeff, you're muted.
You're muted, Jeff.
Yeah, that's it. Hold on.
No, go to the Tristan clip. Because you only played like a small part of that clip.
I'm just playing right from YouTube, but this is the right clip. Hold on a second. You just went to an ad.
The moment.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with the area.
We already heard this. Just skip forward a little bit.
It's coming up.
What the fuck?
What was that, sir?
Oh, tip jar.
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road, it's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am, I just turned on my bed lights for my truck and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
Yeah.
So with these headphones on, I heard whatever it was go in the truck, sound like hooves, and I heard him he floored it.
Really? I mean, you can hear all those details.
I heard it, the engine, right as he started panicking, he floored it. The engine was humming. I used to be a 911 operator. And
oh, really?
For a couple of years right out of high school, I worked at the sheriff's department, and I did all kind of different jobs. But that when somebody calls you, you're not going to call 911 and prank. You know that you can't. You know you don't do that. And
right.
the listening to the
because everybody knows they're going to trace your damn call.
Right. But hearing that fear, that gave me flashbacks. Hearing that fear in his voice, needing help. I've heard that so many times. You can't fake that.
Does anybody know who he is?
No, but
Daniel does.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, he had him on his show? We got it.
Yeah, that's straight up. He said it's episode 167.
I'm going to get that number from Daniel, and I'll share it with you, Roger.
All right. The accent on the dispatchers sounded like they could be from around here somewhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, he gave clues to Highway 210 and what was it, the Black River? So we might could search Google Earth.
The other weird thing that I love to follow up, somebody had mentioned the woman on the airplane that went viral. Everybody filmed her. She was freaking out going, that guy or that person is not human.
Mm-hmm.
And I think David Birch brought that up, that we should try to locate her. That was really creepy too. Obviously that was real. That was verified.
Well, her reaction, first off, she got space between her and whatever she was talking
Right.
about.
She left and walked away.
And then something scared that lady.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you can act, but I've heard, and I know everybody else has too, but I've heard like fear when people think they're going to die in the moment, and you can't fake that. I don't care how good an actor you are.
You know what, though? I have a feeling that she saw something probably with his eyes. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Because one time, I'm not going to say where I was. I'm not going to say who I was with. But I was trying to calm somebody down who wasn't mad at me. They were mad at somebody else. And they were really angry at them. And I'm trying to get them to no, we don't need this. We were setting up. I'm not even going to go into any details. And I watched this very angry person's eyes turn into slits, up and down vertical slits. And their eyes kind of started shaking before that happened. And I backed off away from that guy. Because it did not, it was kind of like, what am I looking at here? And it was under really good lighting. And their eyes turned to like reptilian slits. And they were extremely angry when it happened. I don't think human eyes are capable of that. Are they?
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
And that freaked me out really bad to see that up close. Personally.
Makes you wonder.
It just makes you wonder. Is that what she saw? The guy was. I kind of believe in that because when you see it yourself, you believe in it, right?
Yeah.
And I saw it myself, and I was not mistaken. I was under really good lighting, really good, fluorescent lighting, and this guy's eyes started quivering, and then they turned to slits, and the guy looked like a reptile. And then they went back too, which is the weirdest part of it. So what the hell?
Rusty says he has feline eyes. I ain't noticed that. I've talked to you several times face to face.
Rusty's got feline eyes.
That's what he said.
Okay. Well, our feline eyes, they're kind of up vertical, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So are goats. Goats have weird eyes too.
Think about this, Doug. Just me kicking around the why and all that. You think if 9 other people have been standing there, if they'd have been able to see it, maybe some of us can see things that others can't. You ever thought about that?
That some of us can. Oh, I see. Kind of like Roddy Piper when he put the glasses on.
Right.
I love that movie.
That's awesome. I love that movie.
Oh my God. I knew him because my business partner was Kurt Hennig. When I first started, we were shooting a TV show. Kurt became good friends, and he was good friends with, with Roddy. And so I'm meeting all these guys. I've met so many of those guys. But he was super cool. I don't believe he's around with us anymore, is he?
I don't think so.
I think he's passed on, but that was a good movie.
Roddy Piper? Yeah, Roddy Piper passed away.
I think it was called They Live.
They Live, yeah. It's a John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. But maybe that's possible. But I was alone with this guy. We had stepped aside. So I wanted to have words, to calm down. You don't need to be mad about this. Just trying to get him just settle down. And there was a lot at stake with these guys going at it. And I'm like, God, it's just like the worst thing you can do right now. But to see those eyes shimmer and then to go to slits was quite disturbing.
Yeah.
I never thought about that guy ever the same again, ever.
Minxie's comment, Father Chad Ripperger is American Catholic priest. He's the top exorcist in the North America. And it's worth watching interviews with him. He talks about that kind of stuff, shapeshifters. And that's straight out of kind of esoteric Catholic theology.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
It's Crazy stuff. I'm looking here. I talked to a boy with diamond-shaped pupils. They were rare but real. Well, I know, but this is not. This guy's eyes changed.
Yeah, shapeshifting.
Into like really reptilian looking. I mean, everything about the eye wasn't just the pupils. It was the whole eye, just the color, everything changed. And then it was like he realized it and they went back to normal again.
I've only seen eyes like that one time, but they didn't change. I was at our store. I was younger, and a couple came in. It was a lady. And when I looked up to hand her change back, her eyes had pupils that were elongated. And I know I couldn't hide it. I stared at her and she smiled, and I was being respectful, and I wished I'd have asked her about it, because I mean, I think some people might have that, but they didn't change or anything, but it was just odd looking into a human's face and seeing cat eyes, I don't think they were,
Did you ever see? Did you ever see anybody with black? The completely black eyes.
No, thank goodness. No.
I was. Where the heck was I? Oh, we were at a mall, and it was just a family. I don't know. It was like a woman and her two kids, and they all had black eyes. Black eyes in the mall at this table, not brown eyes. They were black. And we were just staring at them while we were eating.
Well, the weirdest thing that I've ever encountered with humans, a hitchhiker come in. He was an old man, probably, I don't know how old he was, but he's really dirty. And he was speaking, wasn't a language, but he was constantly talking. I couldn't understand. I didn't pick up on anything that I recognized. And something about this man, he walked up to the counter and his eyes were blue as they could be. The whites were as white as they could be.
Really?
And I felt this peace. And I gave him, I got like 6 bottles of water and some food and everything. And I'm like, here, man, take this. I know you're probably having a hard time. And he took 1 bottle of water and 1 snack and pushed the rest to me. The beer man was outside. I saw him talking to him, and he had bottles of water on the truck too and all that. And he said, you need anything? And he just shook his head, no. And when he came in, I'm like, did you find that weird? He said, man, I've got chills. I said, what do you think that was? He said, I don't know. I've never had anybody, hitchhiker or homeless, turn anything down. I said, dude, I tried to load him up with stuff and he only took what he needed. I've never had that happen either. And I said, did we just see an angel? He said, I wouldn't write that off, because that's the weirdest. Looking in his eyes was the most peaceful, weird thing I've ever experienced in my life. So we had the same experience, and he was outside. I was inside. We talked about it later, in a few minutes later. I don't know what that was, but I have heard stories since then, the same thing, the exact same situation. So I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody had asked about whether the black eye. No, the whole eye, the whites, everything black.
Wow.
It was really weird. And we just kept staring. I was with my daughter and we just kept staring at this. I felt bad for them because I think they started noticing we were staring. But I don't think somebody would put contacts into little kids to it wasn't around Halloween or anything. But what the deal was going on there? And you've heard about the black-eyed kids, right? Mm-hmm. All that stuff.
Yeah,
which is kind of a creepy pasta kind of stuff that goes on.
Well, I have a family photo, probably from the early 1900s, maybe a little later. And Kenny Shivers, our buddy, found all this for me. And so it was great granddaddy and his second wife. And then all of these little kids, Doug, I'll see if I can find the picture. All of these little kids that he had with this new lady, even the woman in that photo, they look like they have black eyes. It's the creepiest looking picture you ever seen in your life. But I'll see if I can find that. But I don't know. There's so much. It's like you get into this, you want to learn about Bigfoot and everything that comes along with it. You don't know where to put it. But when you get out in the woods or out at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and this weird stuff, you hear things that you wouldn't hear during the day. I heard a woman laughing out at the land, and Heather didn't hear it. And that's the thing, her hearing is better than mine. And I heard clearly a woman laughing. There's nobody within a long ways from this place. And I'm like, did you hear that woman laughing? No. Usually she's asking me, did you hear this? Did you hear that? The next time we went, I heard the same laugh from the same area. And I've never heard it again. But it reminded me of a cartoon witch. You know what I mean? Like a cackle.
Right.
And I look, y'all, when I start telling stories, I know there's people that's first time they've heard me talk. I know I sound crazy, but all I can tell is what I've heard, what I've seen, and all that. Doug's for pro wrestling.
Oh my God.
I got it.
Oh yeah. What is it, Roger?
Hajicek.
Oh God. Yeah.
I check magic.
Well, I used to hang out with a guy named Mr. Perfect, so there you go. Oh, we had so much fun with that name. And it was weird because I was thinking about Kurt today because I saw something on Facebook, and then Eric had mentioned that he knew Kurt's son, Joe, and he lived only a couple blocks from his house. And so I thought, I'm going to call Joe and tell him some stories about his father.
Kurt was awesome. Kurt and his dad, Larry, were both awesome.
Yeah, I knew Larry really well, too. Yeah, I knew, obviously, Joe's grandfather. And Larry, oh, my God, the weirdest Larry story I have.
We're getting a little off track, but I know
we are.
I love Larry.
God, I got to tell
I love wrestling stories.
I got to tell this story.
Please.
So I'm with Larry. We're at my office, Larry the Accenting. And Larry kept having me because I was working with Kurt. So Larry's like, oh, Doug can shoot because Larry liked to raise money for kids. So Larry's like, Doug, can you shoot this thing for this event? Shoot the commercial for this event, whatever. So I do all this stuff, no charge for him. So me and Larry became friends too. And Larry's in my office. And one day he gets a call and he goes, yeah, he's talking to this guy. And he goes, Doug, talk to this guy for a second. He's really famous. He was the one that flew the Enola Gay.
Wow.
And dropped a Hiroshima bomb. And I'm like, he just hands me the phone. And I'm talking to this guy going, oh my God.
Larry the Axe. He was a legend.
Yeah, and that's before he had his beard, and that was when he was young. But he looks a lot like Kurt in that picture. Put up a picture of Kurt.
Sure.
Hennig, Mr. Perfect. And but Larry's like, why did you have me talk to him? He goes, well, because we're gonna work on a project and you're gonna film it. I'm like, oh gosh. I mean, is that some bad karma, talking to the guy that dropped a nuclear weapon or a hydrogen weapon on a city? Yeah.
This guy bombed the whole city. Talked to him.
God,
I love that we're sidetracking like this. I love this stuff. This is great.
That's fine. That's obviously a younger picture of Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt's pretty young there.
He kind of looked like that when I first started working with him. Kind of, I think he had. But then he went to this. Go ahead and put on Mr. Perfect Kurt.
I'll see if I can find a picture of him. A later picture of him
when he went to work for the WWE. But Kurt was really a wonderful guy. I really enjoyed he was great, like a brother to me. He was a great friend, and he had the greatest sense of humor ever. He's always happy. He's always smiling. And we did a lot of crazy stuff together. We were riding in a motorhome with a whole bunch of that's fake. That's not him.
Oh, that's an AI picture.
That's
isn't it?
AI. That's not even close.
Sorry.
That was icky. Gross. But you're with a whole bunch of wrestlers and you're out partying, and these guys were all these, WWF, WWE wrestlers. And I would always be the one to keep them in line because I'm the guy they're not going to pick on. I was like a third of their size. And so I could tell them what to do and get away with it. Knock it off, It was constantly, we're not doing that. We're not going there. We're not doing that. Don't take a pee there. No, don't do that. There's people walking there. Don't do this. Don't do that. We had fun. Anyhow, Jeff's having trouble. There's got to be a jillion pictures.
There we go. I'm just trying to find a good. There's a good picture of him.
Yeah,
that
that's.
Like him.
I think that's AI too, but that's pretty.
No, I think it's a real picture.
Nah,
he was awesome.
That's AI. Trust me.
Okay.
Everything's AI now.
Yeah. So people are putting up, because, it's been, 24 years probably since Kurt's passed. It's been a while. Anyhow, enough of that. I never did ask Kurt if he ever saw a ghost or a cryptid or whatnot. All right, let's wrap this up. We're off target completely. Roger,
right.
Just hang in there one more second.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Let's play some wisdom.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Patience is power. It sharpens judgment, prevents costly mistakes, and puts you in control when others lose theirs. It lets you see opportunities others miss and act at the right moment instead of the fast one. In the long run, patience doesn't slow success. It multiplies it. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
We are back. We are back. We'll be back.
I love that.
Thank you for watching all of this. You're home for unverified crap. Anyhow, I'll have to talk to you, Roger, tomorrow. If you got time, we can go over a bunch of new things going on.
Now I won't be. He plants seeds, and I won't be able to sleep tonight.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh my God!
I don't either. I have no idea.
It's all good. It's all good stuff.
I'm calling you after the show.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
No,
You can. But good night, everybody. We'll be back. Good
night, everyone.
I do not know who our guest is next week.
Me either.
Because I never know.
I'll be here.
It's written in the calendar. We'll be here tomorrow. And thank you so much, Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
Surprising
see you
us
again, as always.
With your friendly Southern drawl.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't know what the appeal is, but I have people. I used to have people come in our store from traveling from up north, and I've had so many times people bring video cameras in. Can you talk again? Can you say something? I'm like, what am I going to say? Yeah, can you? Yeah, just do that right there. I'm like, okay. And y'all, I'm actually worse. I'm actually worse than this, but I slow down and enunciate. If you catch me out around the fire, you won't be able to understand what I'm saying.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. Anyhow, it was a fun show tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all the goofing around tonight. It just happens. It just happens.
Fun.
It happened that night that the tongues were hanging out all of our news pictures. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That was a fun night too. So
Yeah.
good to have fun.
When I got up off the couch, Heather said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I have been summoned."
Ooh, bad.
I'm in trouble.
Heather's not going to like me.
No, she hears all the conversations when we're on speakerphone and all that, and she's just over there smiling and laughing.
Oh, really?
At us, yeah. Well, it's just like your wife. I mean, I've talked to her more times than, who would have thought 6 years ago when I first started doing this?
Oh yeah, because Yvette will call me, and I don't even warn Roger.
No,
I just patch her in.
You can
No
start
warning,
warning.
nothing. No warning either of them. Just patch them in.
And so I watch what I'm saying at all times now with him. So you never know when he's going to do you like that. Oh, this is the person right here. How long you been on here?
Yeah, I have a habit of doing that with all sorts of people. One day I did that, and we ended up with like 5 people on.
It sounds like you.
I just kept patching them in.
I asked Doug, I've already picked up on, I know when people are coming in, I said, Doug, do I need to fly up there and grease your door, your garage door.
Yeah, you do. Oh my God, that'd be like. Well, you can flow up here, as Daniel would say. You come up here, you flow up here, and grease my door. And you go, okay, that's enough of this crap. We can go on all night with this stuff.
Good night, everyone.
We love everybody. Thank you so much. You guys were a really fun crowd. And,
fun night.
We will be back next week, same time, same channel. And thank you, Roger.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Always fun.
Good night.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm